talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Commercial vehicles built around your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
With your headlines at 1 minute past 1, I'm Tom Clayton. Good afternoon. A major report into the Hillsborough disaster has found 12 police officers would have faced gross misconduct proceedings. The Independent Office for Police Conduct says the proceedings would have been over fundamental failures on the day and concerted efforts to blame fans in the aftermath. The reports upheld or found cases to answer for misconduct in 92 complaints, but no officers will face disciplinary proceedings because they had retired by the time the investigation began. Sue Roberts, whose brother Graham was killed at Hillsborough, says this has been a long time coming.
We were treated so appallingly, and so many family members, my dad and mum, died prematurely. They were tormented by the way that they were treated. We knew that there was a big cover-up going on, but there didn't seem to be anything that we could do about it.
Elsewhere today, Robin Smith has been described as a fearless player and a popular teammate who'd do anything for you. Those are the words of Michael Atherton after the former England and Hampshire batter passed away aged 62. To the Ashes, where Ben Stokes and England must be concerned about their batting lineup. That from Bumble on all-rounder Will Jacks' inclusion for the second Ashes test.
Will Jacks is, I'd call him a bits and pieces off spinner. What they've done is lengthened the batting. And so my reading into that is they're not too happy about the batting, so they've lengthened it.
Specialist spinner Shoaib Bashir misses out. There's a full preview of the second test on talkSPORT's Following On podcast. And remember, it's a massive week of football, and all 10 matches in the Premier League are live across the talkSPORT network and the app. Newcastle v Tottenham is our live and exclusive commentary on talkSPORT this evening.
talkSPORT News.
Reports found sexually motivated attacks on women in public aren't treated with the same priority as other serious crimes, and plans to tackle the courts backlog are going to be set out later on. More from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. For a limited time only, get 20% off a set of 4 premium tyres in our Black Friday event. Book today at quickfit.com and drive away happy every time. Conditions apply.
Sunny spells today, but showers developing in the south and west later on. They could bring hail and thunder, generally breezy and feeling colder than Monday.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We've been taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
This is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs with you through until 4 here on talkSPORT. Where this afternoon, Andy, please tell us what's coming up.
Coming up over the next 3 hours, Stan Collymore relives his Vicario moment. Chris Kirkland joins us to chat about his autobiography, and Steve Harmison gives us his take on England's team for the second Ashes test and pays tribute to Robin Smith.
And he also brings us some more nonsense by numbers. We'll look at the day's big transfer stories and why Sir Alexander Usyk so keen to fight Deontay Wilder.
There's all this plus Arsenal supporting chef Sam Holland gives us his Christmas dinner time-saving hacks, and Auchenleck Talbot manager. You
haven't got to do it.
You can't not do it in the Scottish accent.
Well, you have to do it like Fraser from Dad's Army. It's a bit much.
Sorry, it's just...
Auchenleck Talbot.
It's a hard...
We're doomed.
Yeah. I'm preparing for the Scottish Cup visit of the mighty Celtic.
Yeah, it's a great story, this. Interesting. We'll chat to the manager a little bit later on. But it is 6 minutes past 1. Good afternoon, everyone, and good afternoon, Andy.
Good afternoon, Paul.
It was a night for you of no sport, wasn't it?
It was. Well, I didn't want to subject Sue to Birmingham versus Watford, although when she fell asleep, I did watch the last 20 minutes. So
okay. Birmingham looking quite good, aren't they? We've got dance on later on. We're doing an extra Falls panel, by the way, today, because there's a full programme. You'll hear all the games on talkSPORT. And Dance is going to join us a little bit later.
You'll be pleased with their home form. It's good.
Yeah.
So we decided it was the choice between Mastermind or Bullseye.
Yeah.
Sue said Bullseye.
Even I watched Mastermind last night.
I know.
I've been enjoying Bullseye, though. I've been
great.
catching up with it.
I said to her, the questions are easier.
Well, I mean, I would say there's not much between Celebrity Mastermind questions and Bullseye questions.
I was on form last night. I got 10, 9 and 11 in the general knowledge.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not facing the glare of the chair.
And that's the difference, isn't it? And what we've talked. What would your specialist subject be? We've tried you out on a lot.
Pasta shapes.
Pasta shapes is such a lame subject. Although someone did the TV series Shetland last night. Surely all you've got to do is watch the TV series Shetland.
There's 8 series though. 8.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. There's 8 series of it. So
I've never. I mean, it's probably very good, but I've never watched a minute of it.
This one from Clive because the first bloke said the solar system.
Yeah.
And no explanation needed. It's the solar system.
Yeah.
Yes, the history and features of the 8 planets that orbit the sun and their respective moons.
Yeah.
Yes, the solar system, not a heating system.
Do you think Clive's like that generally? So you say, Clive says to one of his mates, what did you get up to last night? I went to the pub. Yes, the pub, the hostelry with licensed premises.
Serving alcohol.
Do you think he does? You're all right. All right, Clive, you're not working at the moment, mate. We try to get Clive on. He's a big Man City fan, isn't he?
To me, I've put him on.
Yeah, I think you have. You can constantly take...
To be honest...
You probably walk in the studio and lamp you.
No, I'm going to give him a big compliment now.
Okay.
The question, that bloke answering questions on Schubert...
Yeah.
Had a lot of German names and German words in it.
Yeah.
And he was faultless.
How do you know? You don't speak German. He might be making the right pig's ear of it. He was faultless. I'd say
he didn't stumble.
I'd say only a German was well placed to say whether he was faultless or not. Oh, I listened to his German, even though I don't speak the language, and he was faultless. Absolute rubbish.
He was, yeah.
Easy questions in quizzes. I mean, the bullseye questions are easy.
They're very easy.
I mean, they're really stupidly easy, aren't they?
Yeah, but they've got to be easy because otherwise they wouldn't win any money. So
there was the lads the other night. Had a bit of a disaster. The two that got they didn't win any. They didn't win any prizes.
Yeah, they just hit the black.
They just hit the black every time. And the guy was a pretty decent darts player. He had a treble 20 at one point.
Unbelievable.
He got 120, I think. But yeah, so they didn't win any prizes. And so Freddie's saying, "Well, are you willing to gamble nothing?" By the time the ball revolves, there is the late great Jim Bowen would tell a story of it's a half-hour Shaggy Dog story. If you ever get a chance to listen to it, he's probably told it on a podcast or on telly. He certainly used to do it in the after dinner set. And it's a great story of one night of Bullseye when no one went for the star prize. And they haven't got an end game. But anyway, I'm sure it's
a lot of fun.
It's brilliant. It is
does a great job.
He does really. It is a very easy watch.
And then I was thinking about Chelsea are playing Leeds tomorrow night. And,
dirty Leeds.
Dirty Leeds. We've got a terrible record up at Ellen Road. And I was thinking about the time I'm sure I've told you this stuff.
Yeah.
I may have told it on air, but it was 1994. And Leeds, we were away at Leeds that Saturday. Yeah. And we lost 4-1.
Oh, wow.
And it was the days when I was like Gordon Ottershaw. I was like ripping.
Oh, like ripping yarns. Well, you're pretty bad now.
Oh, like I was much worse.
Barnstonworth.
Honestly,
you couldn't take a Chelsea defeat.
Oh no, I was much worse.
Okay.
And which is stupid, really, because why would my expectations be higher? But they were. That's what I was like at that point. And so I was really angry about the fact they'd lost so badly.
Yeah.
And we were due to go to Scribes, Terry Venables.
Oh, Terry Venables' club. Yeah.
And I'm sitting opposite Dennis Wise, who's played in the game. He's come back from Leeds, and he's sitting there, and he's having a drink, and he's all laughing and everything. He's been in quite a good mood. And my wife turned to him and said to him, "Why aren't you as upset as my husband?"
Wow.
Like that. And he said, "Well, I am really inside."
Yeah. You're just drowning it with a couple of lagers. Yeah, what about that?
I can't think of Chelsea Leeds without that.
I remember one game, when I was working at the club, there was one game, Chelsea Leeds, I think it was 0-0, but you went down to 9 men. Am I going mad? This would be the sort of late 70s?
Oh, I don't remember that.
Maybe I'm going nuts. I thought maybe anyway.
They had a good win in the mid-90s.
Well, look, that game, along with every game this week, is live on talkSPORT and the talkSPORT app, talkSPORT or talkSPORT 2. The best way, really, to get right across all the live games this week is by downloading the talkSPORT app, and you can just swipe between all the games at your leisure, and indeed all our sister stations. Just as I said, we're going to be bringing you the Falls panel later on, an extra one. This is a full programme midweek. The games we're covering are Newcastle Spurs tonight, Leeds Chelsea tomorrow, Manchester United West Ham So if you would like to join us for a special midweek Falls panel, 03717 223344. Call us now. We'll call you back at 3:45. 03717 223344 to get in touch this afternoon. You'll take an Arsie and Danta. Stan Collymore is going to join us. Stan had a bit of a Vicario moment, albeit in a team setting, which he'll be reliving a little bit later on ahead of the Newcastle Spurs game. But as Tom Clayton was telling you in the bulletin at the top of the hour, the Hillsborough report has just been released, and Tom's rejoined us with a little bit more of the contents of that. Tom.
Yeah, good afternoon, gents. So these investigations began in 2012 from the Independent Office of Police Conduct. They have found that 12 officers would have had proceedings for gross misconduct labelled against them as a result of what happened at Hillsborough because of the disaster. A total of 92 complaints would have been upheld or at least bring cases towards the IOPC. As I say, these began in 2012. It cost a total of £150 million. Where this is perhaps concerning for some people is that the officers themselves can't actually face proceedings now because they had retired by the time the proceedings and investigations had begun. Now, Nicola Brook, who's a solicitor who's acting on behalf of several bereaved families, says it's bitter injustice and the fact that no one's going to be held to account. She says it vindicates bereaved families but delivers no justice. Meanwhile, the IOPC Deputy Director Kathy Cashel says that the victims of the families and the families of the victims and survivors had been repeatedly let down since the disaster in 1989.
Yeah, that was very telling, wasn't it? Reading those comments from the solicitor Nicola Brook, they left with yet another bitter injustice. The truth finally acknowledged, but accountability denied, which I think again really does get to.
They're going to consider some sort of legal action.
Well, no, they have changed. I mean, the law has changed now. The law has changed, and I think there is a statute of limitations, which is the issue, isn't there? I think
that's
around.
Correct, yeah.
It's very frustrating.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's awful.
You know,
Tom, thank you.
It's a bitter taste in the mouth. It really does.
Tom Clayton. Now, I'm sure there'll be more on that in the news and sports headlines as the day unfolds. It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. We're going to have a chat with Steve Harmison next. England have brought Will Jacks into the team for the second test. A spinner and a pretty decent batsman as well. We'll get Harmy's take on that, and we'll pay tribute to Robin Smith. It's sad news this morning that Robin Smith had died, the former England batsman, and Harmy will be joining us to chat about that in a few moments' time. We're here, of course, with our good friends at Tool Station. Stay one step ahead, whatever the job. Next stop, Tool Station.
And welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How did you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Of course, the second Ashes test gets underway later this week. Will Jacks has been called into the team. Spin bowler and batsman, maybe deepens the batting a bit. And Shoaib Bashir was looked to be first cab off the rank, but they've gone with Jacks, haven't they?
Can't bat, and he's quite expensive. That's the only thing. If the conditions are in his favour, then I'd play him. But otherwise, this is a good selection, I think.
Let's get the thoughts of former England fast bowler, our very own Steve Harmison. Hi, Harmy.
Hello, gents.
Let's start talking about Robin Smith. Very sad news this morning. He joined us on the show a few years back, Andy, for a chat, didn't he? I think he had a book out at the time.
He did.
There's a lot of among the tributes. I noticed our own Darren Gough saying that he was so good to him. He kind of welcomed him and put an arm around him when he first got into the England fold. And it does seem that a lot of the tributes about what a decent man he was.
Yeah, absolutely. Sad day for cricket in general. Hampshire County Cricket Club. We've all got our sort of judgy stories. He was an amazing player. I think anybody age between sort of mid-40s to sort of mid-50s will recognise an absolute legend has lost, has gone from the game, because he was, like we talked about Graham Thorpe, he was the batter that everybody wanted to be. A lot of the batters in that generation average between 35 and 30, 38, 39. Graham Thorpe and Robin Smith, I think, probably set them apart from that sort of 80s and 90s generation. The Judgy Waddy averaged 43 in Test match cricket. That was pretty good, that 63 Test matches. And that the time you're talking about, Paul, I remember I interviewed him as well as part of our cricket coverage before COVID, talking about his book. And, he was a troubled soul, was the judge after he finished his playing. He had a great time when he played. And I remember my first, coming against him was a wayward 18-year-old at Chesty Street. And I was in awe. My captain was David Boone, so I was in awe of Booney. I couldn't speak to him for months because of just who he was. But then when I played against someone like Robin Smith, who I'd watched for so many years on TV, he was probably one of the first ones I'd played against of that stature. And I bowled a few at him, bowled a few faster ones at him. And at the end of the match, because Booney was in our dressing room, in he came, few beers in hand, arm round an 18-year-old, giving you loads of advice, telling you you're going to enjoy the game, enjoy the successes. He was just a really, really nice guy. So when Darren Gough says he welcomed him into the England dressing room, I played against Robin Smith, and he gave me so much encouragement. And then as you see him as the years gone by, as you play your career, and then you see him at functions, that warm smile, warm embrace, strong character, Yeah, English cricket's lost a legend today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. If for younger viewers, if you've listeners rather than viewers, if you've never seen him play, there's a wonderful 16-minute highlight video I watched before the show of his terrific 148 facing Ambrose and Walsh in their prime, with England coming in with England in trouble, and it's a wonderful innings. And you see how brilliant he was square of the wicket. I mean, he was so strong, hooker and cutter, tremendous player. He's sort of ahead of his time a bit, Harmy, wasn't he, in a certain sense?
Yeah, he was. He was a great back foot player, but he had that punch down the ground. You know, I mentioned David Boone, very similar. Punch down the ground. If you overpitched, you hit the ball straight, strong. He was a very, very strong player, strong person, strong handshake. You know, I'll give you a big, strong cuddle when you seen him after games and stuff like that. But in his prime, he was one of England's very, very best, if not during that time, the very best. Like I said before, you know, his average was apart from everybody else in that time. And I mean, I remember I always had a joke with him afterwards, because he always said I was one of the first to make him wear a grill on a helmet, because he always wore the earpieces. He never wore the grill, never ever wore the grill, even when he got his cheek broken. I think it was off Ambrose or Wolf. And whenever I see some old fuddy-duddy who says, "I remember I hit you for 6," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I was 11 at the time." I remember keep saying, "Yeah, I met Robin Smith, put a grill on, you know, the first time," but he was 38, 39, and he was towards the end of his career. So, I mean, I've got nothing but warmth for him. And whenever you know the mark of a person when he's a legend of international, legend of his county. Whenever you see players from that county dressing room, and I'm thinking now the guys like Sean Udall, very good friend of mine, Mark Nicholas, our very own talkSPORT commentator, Rod Bramsgrove, who basically helped Hampshire get to where they are in the recent times. They brought Shane Warne. Judgy brought Shane Warne to county cricket, but they've all got Robin Smith stories. They've all got warmth stories, and for me, that tells you what a mark of a great character in a dressing room. And like I said before, sadly missed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well said, Harmy. Now, moving on to the Test match, I have to tell you, Harmy, that the management have booked your hotel for the next Test match. We've only reserved 2 nights.
2 nights. I mean, that's good. It's good.
That's quite optimistic.
Yeah, I'll take the 2 nights, because I mean, it starts at 4 o'clock in the morning. I could come down the night before and go straight home straight after for the second day, and be that'll be it. But now, joking aside, I mean, they have a chance. I heard what you said before about Jack's selection. I like the Will Jack selection. Robin Smith was with the Lions last week. Andrew Flintoff invited him because obviously he was in Perth. So Robin Smith spent a little bit of time with the Lions. I'm not sure if the first team were there as well. But I like this team. I mean, do you go with an extra seamer? I don't think the 5 seamers in a day-night Test match, you know, was really, really warranted. I think it's going to be a quick game. I don't see it going more than 3 days. I like the selection of Jacks. He lengthens our batting. This guy scores hundreds. He's not like Gus Atkinson's got a Test match 100, but Will Jacks will score. You know, if you give him a chance in the top 6, he'd score, you know, multiple Test hundreds. He's a proper batter. He's probably just a bit better than Joe Root as a bowler. So I think all round it's a decent selection. Cars Atkinson and Archer, I quite like that. It's a little bit. You got us into this mess, you get us out of it. And I can see England bouncing back. I really can. It's going to come on the toss. I think if the toss of the coin goes England's way, I back England to win.
For me, the whole thing hinges, and this might be a bit ridiculous, but I think Root is the key. If he can't make runs in Australia this time, then we are going to struggle. If he starts to play well, then I think that'll give everybody confidence. And you can see by the way that they've attacked him, the Australian media, they think he's the key player too.
100%, and they always do. It tends to be the captain, but I think going at Ben Stokes, I think that would be counterproductive. I mean, Nasser Hussain tried to go at Steve Ward during one of my series, and that didn't work. You don't go against, you know, some characters, and I think I'd leave Ben well alone. You're right, and I've sort of set back a little bit since that second day in Perth. Try to evaluate have we gone overboard? Is there too much criticism towards them? Is it still a bit raw? How they've capitulated in 4.5 hours? I look at it, and when I'm sort of looking at it back and again after I've had a bit of time thinking it, I think it's the first time in McCullum and Stokes where they haven't stayed in the moment. They're very, very good at staying in the moment. Ben bowling first, not bothered about scoreboard pressure on a flat pitch, how many you get, because we'll just go past you and then we'll put pressure on you. I think it's the first time they got a lunchtime on day 2 in Perth and thought, right, we've won this game. Let's really ram the advantage into it. And all of a sudden, within 4.5 hours, they had lost the game because they looked too far ahead, and that's not like this team. And I think Root is key to that because he's the one, like you say, Andy, holds the batting unit together. He got a good ball in the first innings. Second innings, yes, critical. He was pushing away from his body, but it was an inside edge onto the stumps. That could easily have gone past the stumps, and all of a sudden, he's got a couple of runs. He's off and running. So hopefully a little bit of lady luck goes Joe's way this week. In England are definitely going to need him. I think you're 100% right there.
Harmy, thanks very much. We'll catch up with you soon.
Yeah, Paul wishes Newcastle well tonight.
Wish Newcastle all the best this evening. Obviously, you probably don't need my good wishes the way things are going with our lot. So, Steve Harmison there. Newcastle Spurs amongst our games for you this evening. That's on talkSPORT. Over on the app, we got Bournemouth versus Everton, and on talkSPORT 2, Fulham City. So every game covered tonight. As we said, if you haven't downloaded the app, that is the easiest way to keep in touch, especially during a week like this. And you can, flick between the games. Once Spurs have gone 3-0 up, not much point really listening to that, is it? So you can flick over. What are you laughing at? The other games, as we said, Bournemouth, Everton, Fulham, Manchester City. It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. And just to remind you, of course, the How to Win the Ashes episode, the latest one, is on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel. Darren Gough, who we were chatting about there, talks about the pressures of the Ashes series. Stephen Finn won the Ashes 3 times, including in Australia. And he'll be telling you what it takes to go toe-to-toe with the Aussies. So go and check it out, the latest episode of How to Win the Ashes on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel.
Some sad breaking news this morning. Former England and Hampshire batter Robin Smith has died at the age of 62. He averaged 44 in Test cricket. His top ODI score was 167, and that was an England record for 23 years. Michael Atherton's described Smith as a fearless player and a popular teammate who'd do anything for you. Now to the Ashes, where Ben Stokes and England must be concerned about their batting lineup.
I thought they'd have brought another seamer in, because that's the way that you'd expect a pink ball to behave, a day-night game. Will Jacks is, I'd call him a bits and pieces off-spinner. What they've done is lengthened the batting.
That from Bumble on all-rounder Will Jacks' inclusion for the second Ashes Test. Specialist spinner Shoaib Bashir misses out. There's a full preview of the Gabba Test on talkSPORT's Following On podcast. Now, ahead of Tottenham's trip to Newcastle, live on talkSPORT tonight, Harry Redknapp's urging Spurs not to get trigger happy over this poor run of form under Thomas Frank.
They've gone for, Mourinho, Conte, they've had everybody there, haven't they? And
yeah.
It's they can't keep firing people. They have to be patient and let them get on with the job, and let's see where we go at the end of the season.
Meanwhile, Arne Slot condemned abuse on social media amid Liverpool's difficult run. They won at West Ham on Sunday against 10 men.
What I notice, what I feel, is the support the fans give me in the stadium, because even at 0-0, the fans were singing for the team, but also for me. So that's the support I feel.
Liverpool are at home to Sunderland, live on talkSPORT 2 tomorrow night. And Mikel Arteta's asking Arsenal fans to turn up like animals at the Emirates tomorrow and help the team beat Brentford. That one's a talkSPORT Live exclusive tomorrow night from 7 p.m.
Well, Hawksbee Jacobs here on talkSPORT, and less than a month till the transfer window is open again. And some clubs certainly in need of reinforcements. A lot of talk about Manchester United's midfield. Maybe something we'll touch on now with Alex Crook, whose transfer notebook is back up and running as we head towards January. Hi, Crookie.
Good afternoon. We good?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're going to start with Mo Salah. I mean, kind of looking a bit forlorn on the bench the other day, understandably, but I think most Liverpool fans would probably argue it was the right move. They certainly got the result. There's been a lot of talk about him going to the Middle East. I mean, I suppose that chat will start again, won't it?
Yeah, I don't think it's ever really gone away, to be honest. Obviously, there was a lot of conjecture last season when his contract negotiations were going on. Ultimately, he decided to stay at Liverpool, signed a 2-year deal. But I think there was always a provision in there that maybe at some point in the not too distant future he would make that move to Saudi Arabia. We know that Al Hilal retain an interest, and we know the Saudi Pro League are desperate to get him there as their sort of poster boy, Egyptian superstar. If his form doesn't improve, if he can't get his place back in the Liverpool team, then I would imagine that would accelerate, not in January, but certainly next summer. I think this is going to be one to keep a very keen eye on. They mean business, don't they, again in Saudi Arabia, because they're trying to get Vinicius Junior from Real Madrid as well. That would be a world record pay packet, so even more than they're prepared to pay Mo Salah. So I think next summer we could be talking a lot about Saudi.
So there's no link between Semenya possibly coming in January from Bournemouth and Salah going out. You feel he'll see the season out?
I think he will see the season out. Yeah, I think he'll want to do that. But in terms of a long-term replacement, Semenyo would tick a lot of boxes, wouldn't he? He can play in a similar role to Mo Salah. They're going to be big boots to fill, even if Salah isn't at the peak of his form at this moment in time. But Semenyo seems the type of character who would take that challenge on the chin. Don't rule out Manchester City, though. triggering that release clause in January, because I know Pep Guardiola is pretty concerned about the lack of goals coming from City's midfield, the over-reliance on Erling Haaland, and he sees someone in Semenyo who I think can come in and certainly get into double figures in that Manchester City team. So that's going to be one to keep an eye on when the window reopens in January.
He'd be a very good fit there. I mean, he'd be a very good fit at a lot of clubs, but you can certainly see it.
They've got a lot of attacking players, but I hear what Crookie's saying, definitely.
Now, from a Bournemouth fan's point of view, they don't want to hear that. They probably don't want to hear that Andoni Iraola has not sorted his future out yet. I mean, we saw the other day, he seems like a very affable guy, but I think he's facing his third touchline ban of the season, isn't he? So I think he does get quite spiky when he's out there, and he was very upset the other day with the way they threw that game away.
Yeah, I think it was a new record, wasn't it, for being 2 goals up and conceding 3 goals so quickly to lose a Premier League game. I'm there at the Vitality tonight. This one's live, I think, on the talkSPORT app against Everton, and their recent form has tailed off a bit. I think it's 1 point from the last 4 games, so they want to get back to winning ways. But in terms of Iraola, I know Bill Foley, the owner there, who's very ambitious, is desperate to tie him down to a new contract. But I think he might have to be patient with this one, because Iraola, as I understand it, prefers to make a decision about his future at the end of the season rather than mid-season. He usually likes to operate actually on 1-year rolling contracts, so it was a bit of a surprise to many who knew him when he signed a 2-year deal with Bournemouth back in 2024. That expires in the summer, and we could have a really interesting summer in terms of out-of-contract managers, because I think Oliver Glasner will leave Crystal Palace. I think his comments after the Manchester United game were almost paving the way for that. I'm still not convinced that Marco Silva stays at Fulham beyond the end of this season, and Iraola in a similar predicament.
I agree. And his stock's high, so, you've got to, for a manager, that isn't always the case.
That can soon change, can't it, as we've seen over the years. Now, we mentioned Manchester United's midfield, and there's a lot of talk about Baleba. There's Wharton, Elliot Anderson have always been mentioned. We'll just try and get your thoughts in a minute.
It's the area where the weakest, and for the whole thing to work, they need these sort of players, there's no question.
I mean, they do have a Uruguayan international in there, in Manuel Ugarte, but he doesn't seem to get a lot of game time, Crookie, does he?
No, he doesn't. And actually, he was one of the players that Ruben Amorim, along with Garnacho, singled out in the wake of the Europa League final debacle in Bilbao, and after finishing 16th last season, as someone who isn't playing to his top level. I don't think he's quite mobile enough for the Premier League, if I'm being honest. I don't think he's really got the legs to do that job in midfield, and he's only started 2 league games this season. His contract doesn't end till 2029, but I think if they can rebuild the midfield, and certainly that's the priority for next summer, then he is one they'd be willing to cash in on. In terms of who comes in, I think that's a fascinating question, because Baleba was the main target in the summer. He was keen to make the move, but as I was saying at the time, Brighton had no inclination to sell. He's not having a great season. I think 4 times he's been taken off at half-time, Baleba, so maybe that speculation has affected him.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think it certainly has. And then you've got Elliot Anderson, who seems to be growing in confidence and stature. I think he's now down a place, definitely in the England squad, if not the first 11, come the World Cup next summer. Wharton is an interesting profile as well. To get any of those, I think United are going to have to pay a club record fee, but I think they're willing to do it because, as you guys have said, it's an area in the team they've not just neglected this season. I'd argue they've neglected it since Michael Carrick left the football club.
Now, it's interesting about who's the most gettable one maybe in the short term. Could Baleba move in January? I don't know. I don't
think so.
Exactly.
Well, only if Brighton think that he's not doing the business.
Yeah, and his head's
He'll have another one waiting round the corner.
Yeah, there'll be a flight from...
if they can get maximum
flight from Ecuador
money
for about 10pence. Elliot Anderson's an interesting one. If you're him, you probably don't want to move clubs at the moment. You're in the box seat. You go to Manchester United, you might have a little period where you're not quite at it, and I think Tuchel is the sort of manager who'll say, well, if you're not doing it at league level, then you're not going to be starting games. So that feels like a summer move, doesn't it, if it's going to happen?
Yeah, I think in all likelihood, any of those 3 big, expensive players that we've talked about, it's not the type of deal that gets done in January, unless they happen to have a Semenyo-type release clause, which I don't believe they do. And in terms of Anderson, why would he risk his World Cup place by leaving mid-season? He starts week in, week out for Forest. They've improved under Sean Dyche. I think he'd be well advised to stay where he is. And actually, I think Forest would push quite hard to keep him, even if offers do come in January, because he's so important to what they're trying to do in terms of Premier League survival, which I think they'll probably achieve quite easily, but in terms of going deep in Europe as well.
Finally, we're going to talk to Chris Kirkland in a minute, and we were going to bring this up. He's been the number 2 keeper at a big club, and he knows what it's like. James Trafford, there's some stories today that he could want away. I mean, he obviously went into City feeling like he was going to be contesting the number 1 shirt, and then they signed Donnarumma, and that was that. I mean, some clubs, you have kind of joint number 1s like they kind of do at Newcastle, but this is not the case at City, clearly, is it?
Yeah, I don't know if that ever really works, though, does it?
No.
I think, if you're a defender, you need to know who the goalkeeper's going to be, and I think it didn't do Aaron Ramsdale's confidence any good at Arsenal when David Raya came in, and Mikel Arteta sort of tried that, didn't he, rotating the 2 goalkeepers, and in the end he settled on Raya. I feel for James Trafford because he left Manchester City once before, went out and built his reputation as a very dependable goalkeeper with what he did in the Championship at Burnley last season, and he went back there believing he would be the number 1, and he would have been had the chance to sign Gigi Donnarumma not come up, because I don't think that was something Manchester City were planning for, but they saw it as an opportunity they simply couldn't pass up. There's no question in my mind that Donnarumma at this stage is a better goalkeeper than Trafford, so I think he does need to go out in January. He wants to go out in January. There's interest from Wolves as well as several clubs in Europe, but I think City's preference at the moment would be to move on Stefan Ortega and keep Trafford as understudy to Donnarumma. If he doesn't go, I think it's hard to make a case for him being on the plane for England come the World Cup.
That would seem unfair, really, on him. The whole thing seems unfair, that they got him in and then they signed somebody else,
I mean, ironically,
you've got a chance to go somewhere else.
If Donnarumma gets booked tonight, then was it tonight? Tomorrow they're playing City. I'm trying to think.
He's on 4.
Yeah, I mean, if he
tonight,
gets,
isn't it? Fulham
that's right.
Tonight.
Of course, if he gets another booking, I think he doesn't need to become the first Premier League keeper to get five yellow cards and get a ban for it. And he'd probably get a game then, wouldn't he? So this is his opportunity.
It'd only be 1 game.
He would, but again, a bit like when Ramsdale came in cup games last season, there's so much pressure then on James Trafford to deliver that it can almost have the adverse effect, can't it?
No, that's very true. Cheers, Cookie. Thanks very much.
Thanks, guys.
Good stuff.
Cookie's notebook is available at talksport.com, all the latest transfer news, and that will be constantly updated because the transfer rumours and stories and etc. are all starting to surface with less than a month till the window closes. We are going to have a chat with Chris Kirkland, former Liverpool Wigan goalkeeper. His autobiography is out. We'll be chatting about that, the highs and lows of a fantastic career, and that's all to come in a few moments' time. We're here with Tool Station, and you can pick up your wet weather essentials from Tool Station. Next up, Tool Station.
welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
For Hawksbee, Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. The former Liverpool, Coventry, Sheffield Wednesday, Wigan keeper and England keeper, of course, Chris Kirkland, has his autobiography out. It's called Keeping It Quiet. And Chris joins us now. Good afternoon, Chris.
Afternoon, chaps. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, it's a great pleasure. Yeah. You've been very upfront about those latter stages of your career. You've appeared on our show and with Jim and Simon and talked about that addiction to painkillers. I mean, that was a really tough period in your life, and obviously that's an area of your life story that's covered in detail here.
Yeah, I think I've been on your show as well, and you know, when I did first come out, that this is the reason why I've done it more so. So listen, I had a decent career. You know, many had better careers than me. There was many better players, certainly many better goalkeepers. But with the thing that happened, obviously towards the end of my career with the painkillers, because I was still playing from 2012, and then obviously when it causing me to retire in 2016, but keeping it, like it says, the book says, keeping it quiet. I never told anyone the real reason. And then, so that's why really I thought, well, I've been asked before, but with that side of the story, and obviously there's a lot of stuff about the playing career in there as well, I thought this would be a great time to do it. And I've done it because I'm in a good place now. I've had a lot of help, a lot of support of so many different people, and so many different people have helped me to get to where I am today. And that's why I wanted to do the book. So I don't want people to be in the position I was in. I don't want people to feel the way that I felt. And if it can help people by reading this story and realising that you can come back, because listen, I was, you know, I didn't want to be here anymore. I didn't want to live. The tablet should have killed me. I was taking that many. You know, I nearly overdosed so many times. I want people to realise that you can come back from you know, death's door, if you want to call it that, or from the worst case scenarios. And if you can do that, then brilliant.
I think that kind of feeding into that, and the fact that you didn't want to be here anymore. You have so much to live for. You've put in a lot of very personal pictures here of you and your family and your friends. So it as you say, it proves to us what a desperate situation sometimes people can get in.
It can, and you know, we know that mental health and anxiety and addiction, you know, particularly with addiction, it wants you to itself. It's selfish. It feeds your lies because it wants you to feed the addiction, and it just changes you and makes you think completely differently to how you did before. And to come back from that is very tough. But my biggest regret is not speaking up earlier. And I know people say, well, everyone says that, but it's true. I wasted 10 years. I should have spoke up in 2012. When I retired in 2016, I never told the truth. 2019, I went to rehab. Again, didn't tell the truth. And it wasn't until April 17th, 2022, when I got some off the internet and they nearly killed me. They weren't what they were meant to be. They weren't tramadol. And I woke up on April the 18th and thought, right, if I don't do something now, if I don't tell people the truth, and that wasn't for sympathy or for pats on the back, that was just because I didn't want to hide anymore. I didn't want to be sneaky anymore. So that was the day where I thought, right, if I don't do it now, then this is going to kill me. And it would have done, and that's no exaggeration. It would have done, because the amounts I was taking, I was on over 2,000 milligrams a day of tramadol, cocodamol, solpadeine, which if people know what that is, they'll know how dangerous that is, and it should have killed me. So I got to rock bottom. I hit rock bottom on that day, April the 17th, 2022. And that was a day there where I knew I needed to do something. And since then, we've put so many things in place. Telling the truth was the biggest thing. I felt such a relief. I felt as though, then, listen, it doesn't fix everything. It doesn't change everything. Then you've got to put things in place. So the drug tests at home, my wife's got, my daughter's got, we've had them the last 3.5 years. They've been the best thing we ever did. The support I've had of friends, family, the club, Liverpool have been amazing. The foundation have been class. So it took a lot to get here. And now it's about maintenance now, to make sure that I never go back to where I was. So, listen, I have crap days still, where some days you get up like we all do and you think, can't be bothered today. Can't be bothered. No matter what you do, I'm massive on exercise and keeping busy. That's what I have to do in routine. But some days nothing works. But those are the days where I've realised you've just got to dig deep, get through them, and go again the next day.
Absolutely. Yeah, and openly discussing it like this, it's helped you, but it helps a lot of other people too.
Yeah, and you did say a lot of people had reached out to you, Chris. When we spoke to you, you were quite shocked and surprised by the amount of people in and out the game that said, I think I'm in the same place that you've been. Yeah,
and listen, I owe football everything, but I did it for society, because I know there's a huge problem with it. We know that obviously the epidemic in America that's been over the years, but it's in England now as well. I've seen obviously the story yesterday with Omar Bogle as well, and he's come out bravely and opened up about. So listen, there's many more that will come out. There's many more, probably more that won't. But it's just to say that, and it's all in the book. It's how we did it. It's how I come back from it. And listen, it took a lot of willpower from me, but it took so much help from other people. And I know a lot of people haven't got people around them to do that. So if you've not, I talk about searching local services wherever you live. Go onto Google. There's free services around for you to go. If you want to, and listen, I had to make a change. If you're at that stage where you need to, and you do, because if you're at a stage where you need to do something, do everything you can to do it, because don't leave any stone unturned. And like I said, my biggest regret is I waited 10 years to properly do it, and I've got to live with that, and not just me, but the effect it has on family and friends. You don't see that when you're in it, because you're almost selfish, and you're not thinking straight. The addiction keeps you to itself. But when you come out of that, you think, wow, how did they cope with just a different Chris, just a completely different Chris?
Well, that is great advice to anybody out there. There is an awful lot about your career in there as well, and you were a Liverpool fan, so going from Coventry to Liverpool was a dream. And you had a little run of games, I think, in the season that culminated in Istanbul. You got really the number one shirt, then you picked up an injury. I mean, injury, did affect you a few times, but I'm sure there are times when you do sort of wonder, had you not picked up that injury 15, 16 games in when you were playing every week, how things could have been different?
Yeah, listen, like I said, I should have played a lot more games for Liverpool. It could have been a lot less. It was at Crystal Palace. So I did my cruciate ligament. Me and Daly Ebola slid out, went knee to knee, and he's a big boy, Dad. He's a great lad. He was devastated after, and didn't mean anything by it at all. But yeah, I did my cruciate, but my time at Liverpool was, every time I got in, I got a serious injury. I had Jersey Duda there. Obviously, he was a top class keeper. But you mentioned it there. I stood on the Kop. My first game was 1988 as a 7-year-old, watching the famous 5-0 game against Nottingham Forest. To then to be lucky enough to play for the club, and now to still be involved with the club and to be the community ambassador for the LFC Foundation. So we've lived in Merseyside up in Liverpool for 24 years now. This is our home. And to still be able to do, and that's a big reason. That's a big part of why I've managed to turn things around. The Liverpool Foundation, Liverpool Club, have just been amazing. And that was one of the things when it was going to come out into the papers, when Henry Winter did the story and it was coming out onto talkSPORT as well. I was scared, because I was going into. I said, look, I need a meeting with the bosses at the foundation. And I've sat down. I thought, I don't know what, I'm really scared what they're going to say here. And they were absolutely incredible. I said, right, Chris, what do you need? What can we do for you? How can we help you and your family? And hearing those words off them is a big reason why, I'm talking to you today and why I'm in a really steady place. So, yeah, the foundation were just, as you'd expect with Liverpool, the club in general are just class.
Yeah. On a lighter note, I see that your dad put a bet on you to play for England. I'm always fascinated when people do that. Presumably he collected. What sort of odds did he get? You thought they were a bit skinny from the look of the book. 100 to 1, a 13-year-old kid who'd only played in goal a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, if you'd have seen me when I was, if I'd have gone in, I always say it in the book. If I'd have gone into the bookies with my dad at 13, they'd have looked at me and thought, "There's no way he's playing for England." I wasn't in the best shape. I was quite chubby as a kid. But yeah, I mean, William Hill will say it was perfect odds because in the end they had to pay out. But yeah, this should have been a lot more than that. But yeah, my dad put it on. He never told me, and it paid off 2006 against Greece. But yeah. He always said that he'd just seen something from, I was late. I didn't start in goal till I was 13, nearly 14, to 4 years. Within 4 years then, I was making my debut in the Premier League. So it was a real rapid. Yeah, it was a real rapid rise. But yeah, thankfully it didn't. Listen, playing for my country was a huge honour and something I'm very proud of. But people always ask me what's the proudest moment. And the proudest moment for me is playing for Liverpool, supporting the team as a kid, watching them play, and then to play for the club, and now to still be involved that is dreams come true.
And that, of course, your daughter's a goalie with Liverpool, so you must be very proud of that.
Well, she was in the academy. She's not anymore, unfortunately, but she's taken to netball. She's just in her A levels. She coaches with me, so we've got our own goalkeeper academy. She does that with me, where we coach kids, and that's probably one of my favourite parts of the week when I coach with my daughter. And I look to the side and see her coaching the kids. It makes me immensely proud to see her do that.
And just a quick one finally. I mean, you've been. I mean, we're talking a lot. We were talking about James Trafford earlier on to Alex Crook and possibly wanting out of City because he's number 2. We've got Mamadashvili. We've got Ramsdale and Pope duking it out at Newcastle. It's tough, isn't it? Really, because if you're a goalkeeper, there's only one slot, isn't there?
It is very tough. Yeah, it is, and but they'll be pushing each other as much as they can. But you're only going to get in as a goalkeeper through lack of form, which you don't want because you've been there yourself when you're not playing well. It's horrible, or injury. That's the only way that a number 2 is going to get in, and they've got to bide the time. They've got to. But the hardest thing is when they do get the chance, they've got to take it straight away. But listen, Alisson, Mamadashvili, obviously he's come in, he's done well, but Alisson's been the best in the world for the last 4 or 5 years. So when he's fit, he's going to play. James, obviously at City, he was bought there, and then obviously they've gone and got another goalkeeper. And, he's at an age where he's gone from playing every week at Burnley to then coming to City and not playing. So it's really, really tough. And obviously Ramsdale and Pope at Newcastle, they've got 2 outstanding keepers there. But listen, the situation when you sign for a club. You go, listen, you back yourself. You're thinking, right, this is going to be my number 1 spot. But also you're thinking, I might have to buy my time here. I might have to be patient and wait for the chance. So listen, they know what they did when they signed for these clubs. They knew, obviously James was slightly different because Donnarumma coming, towards the end of the window. But yeah, listen, all you can do is you can't throw your toys out of the pram. You've got to knuckle down, work hard, and they're top class keepers. If it doesn't work out, the clubs are at the minute, I'm sure there'll be plenty of suitors that are willing to take these type of keepers.
We wish you well with the book, Chris. All the best. Take care.
Thank you very much.
There we are.
Sorry,
Chris.
can I just mention one set?
Of course.
Yeah, go on.
Curtis, it was through Curtis Sport and Terrace Tales. They were, when they rang, as I say, I've been offered before to do books and never, but when they spoke to us, the way they said it, the way they told me it could help people, that's why I did it. So they've been magnificent. So I must give Curtis Sport and Terrace Tales a massive shout out because they've made it. I was nervous about doing it, but the way they handled it, the way they spoke me through it, they made me really calm. And the girls, obviously, when they spoke in it as well, they couldn't have handled it any better. So I'm very, just want to say a massive thank you to them as well.
Brilliant. Okay, Chris, all the best. Thank you. Take care. Chris Kirkland there, Keeping It Quiet is Chris's book, as he said, Curtis Sport, the people behind the book, and it's out now. I know he's doing some signings around his clubs too. It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. We're going to talk a bit of boxing in the next hour. Stan Collymore had a kind of Vicario moment, so he'll tell us more about that. And the Falls panel, Newcastle Spurs, Leeds Chelsea, Manchester United, West Ham. Call us now, we'll call you back in 45 minutes. It's a special as we got a full programme this week. 03717 223344. Say, call us now, and we'll get back to you, and you can represent the talkSPORT listeners in the Force panel.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Supporting van owners to get the job done. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
With the headlines at 2:04, I'm Tom Clayton. Good afternoon. 12 police officers would have faced cases of gross misconduct as a result of the Hillsborough disaster. That's according to a report published by the police watchdog. A total of 92 complaints would have been upheld, all brought cases of misconduct. But the law at the time of the tragedy means that none of them can be disciplined because they retired at the time of the investigations beginning. Kathy Cashel is the Deputy Director of the she's the Deputy Director General of the IOPC.
Wholly unsatisfactory doesn't really do it justice. The fact that we are here 36 years later and we are still looking at what happened that day is a stain on our national consciousness.
Elsewhere today, English cricket has lost a legend, so says Steve Harmison after the passing of Robin Smith.
Yeah, I played against Robin Smith and he gave me so much encouragement. And then as you see him as the years gone by, as you play your career and then you see him at functions, I mean, that warm smile, warm embrace, strong character.
In the Ashes, Will Jacks has been called up to the England squad for the second test. Shoaib Bashir misses out. And a Man City legend says it's way too early to be crowning Arsenal as the title winners. Paul Jacobs says it's far too early in the season, and we all know what City can do.
To be 8 points, what was it, a week ago behind, and the chance of going 2 points behind literally 10 days later, it is going to put pressure on the team that's there. But going into that back end of the season, you know, Man City have got a lot of players that have been there before.
City are in action tonight away at Fulham on talkSPORT 2. Remember, all 10 midweek games in the Premier League are live across the talkSPORT network and on the app.
talkSPORT News.
Sexually motivated crimes against women in public aren't treated as urgently as other offences. That's according to a report. And the Justice Secretary has been telling MPs about his plans to tackle the backlog of court cases in England and Wales. More from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Visit quickfit.com for huge savings on tyres, servicing, batteries, wipers and more in our Black Friday event. And drive away happy every time. Conditions apply.
Sunny spells today, but showers developing in the south and west later on. They could bring hail and thunder, generally breezy and feeling colder than Monday.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We've been taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. We've got a Falls panel for you, an extra one. This is a full programme live on talkSPORT this week. So Newcastle, Spurs, Leeds, Chelsea, Manchester United, West Ham. We'd like you to come on and predict the scores of those games. 03717223344. Call us now. We'll get back to you at quarter to three. You can take us on. Stan Collymore is going to join us for a bit of a chat. Was part of a Villa side that found themselves in a very similar situation to a lot of the Tottenham players at the moment. A bit of a war going on between players and fans. And former boxer Paul Smith popping in to see us. Deontay Wilder, Alexander Usyk, a possible fight there. And some good news today for Conor Benn, which we'll be discussing. But before all of that, a few Christmas dinner hacks from Chef Sam Holland, who joins us now. Hello, Sam.
Hi there, guys. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
It's a great pleasure. We'll come on to the hacks in a minute, but you're an interesting family. As you're probably aware, we know your dad, Dominic. We've known him for many years. He's a Brentford fan. Your uncle's a Brentford fan.
Yes,
your brother, Tom, the actor, everybody knows, of course, Spider-Man. He's a Spurs fan. And you're a Gooner. So how did that happen?
Yeah, no, it's a bit of an eclectic mix in my family. No, my dad is a Brentford fan, but doesn't kind of keep up to date with it too often. So Harry and I, we found ourselves moving to a school which was football mad, so we decided to kind of pick teams. And he started off with picking Spurs, and he must have really annoyed me that day because then I decided to choose Arsenal. But as you and all the other football fans know, you can't change allegiances. So I've been, pretty consistent with Arsenal, and I think that kind of loyalty is paying off round about now.
Yeah, your uncle is a massive Brentford fan.
That's right.
He
Yeah,
sits behind
you at the games, doesn't he?
He's very, very enthusiastic. Excuse me.
Yeah. So does it cause any issues in the house? And probably a Christmas dinner. I mean, imagine you're all sitting there. The Boxing Day games are probably quite lively, aren't they? Where everybody's supporting different teams.
Yeah, no, it does cause a problem, but luckily enough, Tottenham haven't beaten Arsenal for a good few years now, so I've not had to be on the receiving end of any abuse. Mainly it's me kind of looking smug after another Arsenal victory.
And your dad loves golf, doesn't he? He's written books on golf.
Yeah, do you play a bit yourself?
Yeah, no, we're all avid golfers. We're actually playing on Saturday. It's my brother's 21st, so we're all going to be playing together. We're all fairly keen golfers, all off single figures, so yeah, we'll see who's going to take home the prize on Saturday.
So let's talk about some of these Christmas dinner hacks, because it can be a very fraught time, can't it, for the person who's in charge?
Yeah, no, it is. It is tough, and Christmas dinner is probably the most important dinner of the year. And I've teamed up with Lars to kind of give people some good sweet and savoury recipes and also some tips and tricks to kind of make Christmas dinner less stressful, basically.
I always think when I do a lot of cooking and a lot of Christmas dinners and the whole thing, and I think you need a lot of concentration because it's so easy to go wrong. It's so easy to burn something. It's so easy to overcook something,
You've got a system, haven't you? You work back from the time you want to eat.
I do. Yeah, I make a list from when we want to sit down and to eat and how long each thing takes, and I just work backwards like that. And then,
very methodical.
Very
for you,
methodical.
Andy. A man who's normally quite seat in the pants.
Very much so. But yeah. I think one of the worst things you can do is get absolutely hammered first thing in the morning, because that's when your concentration, that's when you lose it. That's when you burn stuff, I think. A lot of
it's easily done. I mean, chefs do have a reputation of being quite, drunks behind the stoves anyway. But yeah, no, cooking, I like your style. I think writing a list is really good. And I think, you want to stay organised. I mean, that's kind of the key for any kind of success, whether it's cooking or on the football field. But yeah, my advice is kind of give yourself maybe half an hour leeway on your list just to make sure if anything cooks quicker than you think. My kind of general rule of thumb is that I like to kind of cook everything to perfection beforehand and then just reheat it, 10, 15 minutes before we're ready to plate up, just to make sure that everything's cooked perfectly and nice and hot, ready for the big dinner.
That's appalling. Sorry. I don't agree with that.
You don't like that?
You do? No, I don't. You have to build in resting time, I think, for all these things, Don't you think, though, when you reheat something, it's never quite the same, I'm not sure about that. Anyway, you're a chef. You should know better.
Yeah, it's like, feel free to tell the chef.
Tell
the chef how to
Sorry,
cook.
Sam.
Great, isn't it? Well, everybody, it's a game of opinion.
Everyone's
like
different. No, I know. A lot of people like to do this.
So, do you feel the pressure, even as a professional chef, Sam? Do you feel the pressure on Christmas Day when all the sort of family are sitting there, like, drumming on the table, saying, "What time are we eating?"
Yeah, no, it for sure is obviously a big day, and ultimately I do enjoy it. I mean, cooking is my passion. It's, I've done it for quite a few years now, so it's always a great joy. And to bring everyone together on Christmas Day is always really, really fun, especially now everyone's so busy. Tom's flying around the world making movies, so it's great to get him back in London having some good food. But yeah, no, I do feel the pressure, but that's how diamonds are made, and I think pressure is always a good thing.
That's good.
When we last saw you, Dad, we were chatting, and because he wrote a book called Eclipsed, talking about the fact that Tom had become more famous than him, and
I saw his show in Edinburgh.
I said,
it was great.
We said, does he laud it a bit now? He's Spider-Man. He said, oh no, family, brothers, family won't let him do that. So you keep him in check. Do you, if he gets a bit Hollywood sometimes, Sam?
Well, thankfully that doesn't happen too often. The biggest prize in the Holland household is who's the lowest at golf. That's the prize. We don't care about fame and fortune. We care about how you can get it around on the golf course. And, annoyingly, Tom is the best at golf.
Oh.
That is going to change one day, hopefully.
Eclipsed on the golf course as well, Dom. He won't be
happy
pleased
about
that. Can't catch a break.
Yeah, oh dear. So Arsenal-wise, you must. As a Tottenham fan, I'm obviously delighted for you, but you must be very happy with the way things are going.
Yeah, no, I think it's been brilliant, and I think what's really happening now is that we're being rewarded by having the patience with Mikel Arteta. I think he's shown an amazing amount of courage and leadership to kind of take us to not only being a good team in England, but also a top team in Europe. You saw us beat Bayern Munich the other night. And I think ultimately this is a kind of a bit of a pivotal year. I think if we go on to win at least the Premier League, maybe we'll nick a cup as well. We can then go on to maybe be what Man City were a few years ago. But I think it's now or never. And it's a bit of a sliding doors year. So hopefully we can get over the line, because I think a lot of Londoners would like to see
Chelsea are coming.
Yeah. We're all very much rooting for you in this studio. Well, cheers, Sam. Give our best to your dad. Thanks very much.
Yeah, have a great Christmas.
Thanks very much, guys. Merry Christmas.
Thanks.
There we are. There's Sam Holland there, the chef, with a few little tips for you. Do you do the puds as well? Andy, you charge your puds?
But by that point, you've kind of lost it a bit, haven't you?
Have you really? Don't leave any room for pud?
Well,
you a starters man, Christmas Day?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Blimey, very important.
Okay. I mean, you must... Okay, so you don't bother with the pud, it's all the stuff...
No, I do bother with the pud. I mean, but just by that point, I've probably had a bit too much to drink, and it's all a bit... it's all gone a bit haywire.
It's sort of face down in the Christmas pudding. Freddie Frinton. Okay.
What a wonderful
Andy
one for
Jacobs.
the teenagers.
Yeah, there we are. Or anybody from Germany who's listening today.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Stan Collymore joins us next. A little bit of insight into what's going on at Spurs. They're in action against Newcastle. They're probably delighted to be away from home. Less pressure. Stan was part of a Villa side under the cosh. He'll give us a bit of an insight into what it's like when fans and team have a bit of a fallout. And he'll stick around for the Falls panel. We're here, as always, with our very good friends at Toolstation. Gear up for those darker nights with electrical and lighting offers. Next stop, Toolstation.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Well, it kind of feels like a Friday on a Tuesday. We're going to bring you a Falls panel, and as there's so much going on in the world of football, full programme, absolutely. They're all live across the talkSPORT network. And one of the talking points of the last few days has been all the fallout from the Spurs-Fulham game and players putting stuff out on Instagram and the manager saying not true Tottenham fans would boo their own player. So it's been a big subject of debate. And we asked earlier on, we thought Stan had a varied career, Stan Collymore. There must have been times in his career when he was in the shoes of these Spurs players. Sure enough, that was the case. He joins us now. Good afternoon, Stan.
Andy, Paul, it was one of the strangest footballing weeks of my life, of which there were many, but it was kind of incredibly bittersweet. We played, it was Aston Villa. Played Blackburn Rovers at Ewood Park. And that season, Villa, they'd signed me from Liverpool. We had Dwight York, we had Bosnich, we had Hugo Ekior, Gareth. We had a good team. We were expected to compete for the league. The first game of the season was Blackburn at home. And Brian Little decided to play three up top and not much width. And Blackburn, if you remember, Wilcox and Ripley had width. And they tore us apart at Villa Park. First game of the season, 4-1, I think it was. And we went on a run, didn't win in the first 6 games, and we were on an absolute dog of a run right the way through till New Year. So I just pulled up the stats, and I remember it so well because as a footballer, there's no hiding place, obviously. And I understand what Thomas Frank said about supporting the players, and you never get a tune out of players when you give them a bit of clog. But we were 5-0 down at Ewood Park. Worst result of my career by far. Kevin Gallagher scored hat-trick, Stuart Ripley, Tim Sherwood scored the others. And behind the goal at Blackburn, you know, you pretty much get the whole away end behind the goal. And Villa fans were singing, "You're not fit to wear the shirt" to the players. And it was horrible because there was still 10, 15, 20 minutes of the game left. And the ball went out, and Savo Milosevic, that played up top with Yorkie and I, he went over and he spat towards the Villa fans. And it was a nightmare. Brian Little put him on the transfer list. I don't know whether he did or didn't play for the club again. Full apology. When we came off the pitch, roundly booed by Villa fans waiting outside the ground for the team bus, waiting at Bodymore Heath, waiting at Villa Park. It was absolutely awful. So from a player's perspective, I have lots of empathy and sympathy for players that are on the end of it because there are no hiding places. But from a supporter's perspective, it's really simple. You pay your money, you expect a certain level of commitment. All I'd say is that whether you're playing really well or whether you're playing really poorly, the level of commitment rarely wavers. It's confidence. So from a pundit's perspective, I think now the more that you can get behind players that are struggling or that make ricks or make mistakes, Canate springs to mind at Liverpool, keep getting behind them even when it feels counterintuitive to do so. Is that they'll turn much quicker than if you're giving them constant clog.
Yeah, I just think the difficult thing with the Vicario moment, and I don't doubt for a minute when he runs back to his goal at the start of the game against Brentford at the weekend, he'll get a brilliant reception from the Spurs fans because you're right. They all want him to play. All of us want him to play. We want all the players to play.
There have been games where he's been magnificent.
He has been brilliant. He saved us in games. I mean, he saved us right at the start. Not that it made a lot of difference, but it was a big save at the start of the North London derby.
The irony, Paul, Andy, is that I mentioned about that week being a strange week, is that the following week we played West Bromwich Albion in the FA Cup fourth round at Villa Park. We won 4-0 and I scored. So, and everything changed because you beat one of your rivals, West Midlands derby, full Villa Park, into the next round of the FA Cup, is that things can turn very quickly. So, again, from my perspective, I mean, when I go as a fan, I don't think I've ever booed one of my own players. You have the moment whereby, fairly recently, I go up in the alt end, top of the alt. Emi Martinez has the ball at his feet. 1 in every 10 or 12 passes, he gives it to somebody and puts them under pressure, or he'll give it away, or he'll make a rick. And you go, "Oh, Emi!" You really go. But I'd draw the line at booing players because the other thing that, of course, Thomas Frank said, which is correct, is that you're there to support them. It's very difficult in the moment because we're all very passionate about our teams and our clubs. But I've no doubt that for Vicario and for the Spurs players, they're good enough to be able to turn things around. And of course, they've got an opportunity to do that in this midweek match week.
It was funny though that he said it wasn't the booing. He said it was the ironic cheers when he cleared it properly the next time. But that's English British football fans. There's a difference. That's the difference between here, Europe, and South America. I was saying earlier, Stan, that when the ball goes over the bar from a wayward shot, here the reaction is "Way!" But in South America or Europe, the reaction is whistling and really booing and
derision.
Yeah, it's exactly the same when you get a tackle, isn't it? Even though tackling has almost been outlawed from the game, I know that the rules have changed slightly and referees have been given a little bit more leeway to for example, derby games to be a little bit feistier. Is that when a good challenge goes in, here we go, yes! And they don't really do that abroad. I've been to a lot of games in Seville. I've got a good mate that lives in Seville, a huge Betis fan. And you're right, culturally, they are very different. They whistle at different things. They boo at different things. If a manager's under major pressure, they get the hankies out and start waving them around. I think for Spurs, I think they'll be okay. For no other reason that they've got a quality squad. That if you look at Aston Villa's start to the season and they're fourth, there's no reason why Tottenham Hotspur can't go on a run that would easily see them up in the Champions League.
How did you turn that runner round, Stan? What was it? Was it players getting together and deciding? Yeah. Was it a change of tactics? What happened?
Same happened at the first season at Forest. This was in the Championship. Brian Clough had gone. Frank Clark came in. Roy Keane had gone. Teddy Sheringham had gone. Everybody's like, what's happening with this football club? First 6 games of the Championship, couldn't buy a win. We had a meeting at a pub in Nottingham. Frank Clark and Archie, I remember Archie Gemmell really ripping into the players, and he said, you better sort it out. And what we did was we went 5 in midfield with just me up top and basically never looked back for 2 years, which ended up seeing us not just get promoted, but finish 3rd in the Premier League. So there will undoubtedly be not so much pubs, maybe a restaurant, maybe managers now would say, we're all going to go out, we're all going to go for a bite to eat, and everybody gets to have their say. But there will be meetings, whether it be at the training ground over lunch or whether it be out and about somewhere a little bit more informal. Christmas dinners are obviously popular this time of the year, players going out and about. But there is always a reckoning, and it always comes with the managers and the coaches and the players saying, where are we going to move to next? So I think that without a doubt that those conversations will have been had at Spurs.
And there's stories in the Sun today suggesting that the players are all a little bit confused by what's going on, that we haven't got a settled lineup. The team's chopping and changing, the tactics, the shape of the team is chopping and changing, and that's causing a bit of consternation. Can you see that?
Yeah, but then I would be surprised, because I went down and did a bit for French telly at Brentford when Thomas Frank was there. And he is one of the clearest, most concise, information-driven managers out there. So the notion that he hasn't gone to Spurs and given players an exact remit of what he wants them to do is a little bit of players maybe telling 1 or 2 mates in the media or telling 1 or 2 agents that then brief things, which always happens. We support 3 clubs that over the years, whereby there have been loads of leaks if a team's playing poorly. They never happen. It's like players when they get injured. Yeah. When everybody's fit and firing and the club are on the back of a 10-game winning streak, everybody's miraculously fit. When you lose 5 games on the spin, 3 or 4 of your best players go missing, and that's when you can tell about the mood within a club. So I would be very sceptical that Thomas Frank isn't anything other than thorough, concise, precise, in terms of information that he gives Tottenham Hotspur players as to what he wants them to do and how he wants them to play.
Interesting. Thanks, Stan. He's going to stick around for the Falls panel, as always. Newcastle, Spurs, Leeds, Chelsea, Manchester United, West Ham. All the games, all 10 games are across the talkSPORT network. Some are on the app. If you haven't downloaded the app, this is the time to do it. You can flick between the games. You can follow our sister stations, of course, talkSPORT 2 and Virgin and Talk Radio and Times Radio, etc. It's all there on the app and all the podcasts, so it's well worth downloading this week of all weeks. Falls panel next, Ian Danter joining us, and one of the talkSPORT listeners as our panel beater.
Some sad breaking news this morning. Former England and Hampshire batter Robin Smith has died at the age of 62. He averaged 44 in Test cricket. His top ODI score was 167, and that was an England record for 23 years. Michael Atherton's described Smith as a fearless player and a popular teammate who'd do anything for you. Now to the Ashes, where Ben Stokes and England must be concerned about their batting lineup.
I thought they'd have brought another seamer in because that's the way that you'd expect a pink ball to behave, a day-night game. Will Jacks is, I'd call him a bits and pieces off spinner. What they've done is lengthened the batting.
That from Bumble on all-rounder Will Jacks' inclusion for the second Ashes test. Specialist spinner Shoaib Bashir misses out. There's a full preview of the Gabba test on talkSPORT's Following On podcast. Now, ahead of Tottenham's trip to Newcastle live on talkSPORT tonight, Harry Redknapp's urging Spurs not to get trigger happy over this poor run of form under Thomas Frank.
They've gone for, Mourinho, Conte, they've had everybody there, haven't they? And
yeah.
It's they can't keep firing people. They have to be patient and let them get on with the job and let's see where we go at the end of the season.
Meanwhile, Arne Slot condemned abuse on social media amid Liverpool's difficult run. They won at West Ham on Sunday against 10 men.
What I notice, what I feel is the support the fans give me in the stadium, because even at 0-0, the fans were singing for the team, but also for me. So that's the support I feel.
Liverpool are at home to Sunderland live on talkSPORT 2 tomorrow night. And Mikel Arteta's asking Arsenal fans to turn up like animals at the Emirates tomorrow and help the team beat Brentford. That one's a talkSPORT Live exclusive tomorrow night from 7 p.m.
It's time for the Falls panel. Now, it's not Friday, we know that, but with a full programme this week, we thought we would squeeze an extra one in. Stan Collymore is still with us. Let's give you the rundown.
I've gone, haven't I? Let's be honest.
Well, this is the league table.
I'll be playing for re-election.
If you're not able to listen on Fridays, you wonder what the heck's going on. The Falls panel is an opportunity to try and predict the scores of 3 games. We have our pro, Stan Collymore, we have a commentator, we have a talkSPORT listener, our panel beater, and me and Andy. And we have a league table because we get 3 points for getting the score absolutely spot on. We get 1 point for getting the outcome right, nothing for getting it wrong. And last week, that's exactly what Andy got, nothing. He stays on 15 at the bottom of the table.
Honestly.
It's the callers next. They're on 18. No scores last week for Andrew, the Manchester United fan. Then there is a bit of a leap to me mid-table, just 1 for me. Last week, I'm on 25. But both Nigel Adley for the commentators and Stan predicted the 1-1 draw between Chelsea and Arsenal. They got 3 each.
I'm like those blokes in Bullseye.
Yes, you are. So Stan's top of 33, commentators second on 27. And our commentator today is Ian Danter. Good afternoon, Dance.
2-1 to the chimney, boys. Hello.
Yes,
yes. Caught the last 20 minutes of that.
And he was impressed. He's eyeing you up.
That was a great game. Yeah. I really enjoyed that game last night. I mean, I've got a vested interest, but I thought that was a cracking championship game last night.
Yeah, the standard was good, I thought. I agree with you.
You're on your way down to the Vitality Dance, on. You're commentating for us tonight.
I am. I can see a rainbow rising. There's an album title for you, Paul, just as I'm driving towards Salisbury. Beautiful rainbow ahead, but it's tipping it down, as you can imagine. But on my way to the Vitality.
Okay, lovely.
West Ham this week. Where are they playing? Let's have a look. Where's their
game? United, haven't they? Tomorrow night.
Thursday night. Of course, they play Thursday night. Yeah, we're covering that. And Matt, the West Ham fan, joins us. Hello, Matt. Hello, Matt.
Hello, gents. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you feeling about a trip to Old Trafford? Do you think you're going to do all right?
Well, it's been a little bit up and down at the moment. Don't really know what to expect with West Ham, but I'd be hopeful to get a draw.
Yeah, they had that chance at 1-0 the other day before Liverpool got the winner. Bowen had that chance.
Yeah, it was close, but
could have been different. Anyway,
United at Old Trafford would be a different story, though. I think
we start tonight then. As this one is exclusively live on talkSPORT. And Stan, Newcastle Spurs, be kind.
Yes, having won just 2 of their 11 Premier League home games against Spurs between 2010 and 2022, Newcastle have now won their last 3 against the Lily Whites by an aggregate score of 12-2.
Oh dear.
So I'm going to continue that. Newcastle United 3, Spurs 1.
3-1. Okay. Dance, how do you see it?
Yeah, well, what you said earlier about Spurs probably preferring to play away kind of makes sense, but Newcastle's tails will be up after that win at Everton on Saturday. I reckon 2-0 Newcastle.
2-0. I mean, that sort of defensive solidity we saw at the start of the season, that brilliant result against City seems to have gone by the wayside. That was a real knock, getting hammered by Arsenal. I don't know. I mean, I hate betting against my own team, but I'm going to be daft. Maybe throw away the points and go for a hard-fought 1-1 draw. And the turning point in the Thomas Frank reign. We look back on it after we've won the Champions League. We'll look back on Newcastle away in December and say that was the moment. He said optimistically. Matt, the West Ham fan, what do you think? Hello, Matt.
He keeps dropping off, doesn't he?
He has dropped off, yeah, he's we'll come back to him. Andy, how do you see this?
Yes, what I'm trying now is to write the scores in before I hear anybody else's to say.
That's a good idea.
Influence, as I always go last.
Yeah.
It won't make
because otherwise you're just going to go 5-all all the time.
I know. 5-all. Yeah. But it's hard to make a case for Spurs in this game. Newcastle, tremendous on Saturday.
Yeah.
They are good there. Difficult place to go. I'm going 2-0 to Tottenham, but
2-0 to Newcastle.
To Newcastle, rather.
Okay.
Although I wouldn't be surprised, football Premier League being what it is, I wouldn't be surprised if it does turn out to be 1-1.
What do you think, Matt, the West Ham fan? We got you back, I believe.
Hello. Yes. No. What's that with? Sorry.
This is the Newcastle Spurs.
Keep up.
Oh, sorry. No, I dropped out.
Yes.
Newcastle Spurs. It wouldn't surprise me if Spurs go there and get a result.
Oh, blimey. Well, it might surprise a lot of people, but what?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I can't stand Spurs myself, but again, who knows what team's going to turn up? But yeah, no, I'd fancy Spurs probably 2-1.
2-1, oh, blimey. Okay, well, God bless you, Matt. A rare show of solidarity from a West Ham fan.
That'll be the upset,
even though he hates us. TalkSPORT listeners home in the car. Leeds Chelsea, a game with a bit of history if you're old enough. Is that tomorrow night, isn't it? It's on the talkSPORT app, exclusively live. Stan, what about this one?
Yeah, Andy would obviously know that this historically isn't a great place for Chelsea to visit. Their record over 30, 40, 50 years is not good. Having said that, Leeds have won just one of the last 9 Premier League games against the Blues. I think they will score at Ellen Road. I saw them most recently against Villa, and the crowd there, as always, very noisy, very raucous, get right behind the team. But I think that Chelsea will come good. Leeds United 1, Chelsea 3.
Oh, 3-1, says Stan. Dance?
Yeah, Chelsea are going about their business. All right, I mean, they've spent oodles of money, of course, we know that. But there's something about what they're starting to put together that really intrigues me. With regard to this season as well, they could challenge. I think they'll win 2-1 at Leeds. 2-1 at Leeds.
I'd already written down 2-1, Dance. I mean, they should get a bit of a lift from the way they played in that City game. They got sort of undone at the end. And you always fancy them to score at least once at home, but I just don't think they're going to be able to keep Chelsea out. So I've gone like you, 2-1 to Chelsea. Matt, the West Ham fan?
I would probably say 3-1. Yeah, like you said, Chelsea are going around their business. Really, they're sort of keeping themselves to themselves, and I reckon they're going to be the surprise of the season.
Okay, well there we are, 3-1. Andy, are you feeling quite confident?
Well, not really, because it's such a terrible place to go. No Caicedo. Other than that,
they managed pretty well without him for most of the game.
They did. Yeah, Andre Santos came in, he was brilliant against Burnley. I suppose I've got to go for a Chelsea win, but I wouldn't be massively surprised if it's a draw. So
we're going to go for
I need the points. All right, I hope they win, but I think it might be a 1-1.
You're going 1-1?
Yeah.
Blimey.
I need the points.
Okay, well, okay.
Chelsea
you're doing exactly what you said you wouldn't do.
Well, they're a funny team, Chelsea.
Not really. They just seem to be winning most of the time. It's just you haven't noticed it. TalkSPORT listeners home in the car.
Well, I'm a fan, never optimistic.
Finally, then, Thursday night, exclusively live on TalkSPORT on the main channel, Manchester United versus West Ham. Stan, what about this one?
Manchester United have lost 4 of their last 5 against the Happy Hammers, more than they had in their previous 28. I don't think that'll happen this time, though, with the form that both teams are in. Manchester United on 21 points. 3 points could take them, theoretically. Villa play Brighton, so one of those 2 teams are going to drop points above them. Sunderland might drop points, so firmly in the European positions. Manchester United 2, West Ham United 0.
2-0, says Stan. Dance.
I think this could be a really, really frustrating listen for 90 minutes. I think West Ham will try and stymie Manchester United as much as they can, and I think they might get a 0-0 out of this.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I think Manchester United might just nick it. Maybe Xerxes got a bit of confidence after that goal. Mount's been looking like he's in a bit of form. I'm going to go 2-1. I expect West Ham to score, almost certainly through Bowen. So I'm going to go 2-1 to United. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, again, I think it's going to be probably not the greatest game of football, but I can imagine West Ham will come away with a point, and I reckon it'll be 1-1.
1-1, says Matt, the West Ham fan. And finally, Andy.
I mean, Stan mentions that United should be, would be in the European places. They absolutely should be. They've got no European football.
Yeah.
They've got no excuse. They've spent a fortune. They've got no excuse not to finish in the top 6 minimum. And I think here they'll be too strong for West Ham. 2-0.
2-0, says Andy. TalkSPORT listener, I'm in the car. Well, there we are. There's the Falls panel. Matt, thank you very much for joining us. All the best.
No, it's been a pleasure. Lovely to talk to you all.
Yeah, lovely to talk to you. Dan, safe journey down to Bournemouth, and we'll hear from you tonight.
Thanks very much, gentlemen. Take it easy.
Alongside Scott Minto for that one. And Stan, we'll catch up with you Friday.
Thanks, Stan.
Thanks very much.
Have a good one, chaps. Take care.
All the best. Stan Collymore, they say back Friday, where we'll have another Falls panel ahead of the weekend. So Fulham Man City on talkSPORT 2 exclusive. Martin Keown's alongside Joe Shannon. Bournemouth Everton is on the app with Dance and Scott Minto. Newcastle Spurs, Adrian at St James's Park. Sam Matterface and Troy Deeney are the commentary team for that one. So we've got every game this week. All 10 games are across the TalkSPORT network. Once again, easiest way to listen is to download the app, because some of the games are on app only, and that could be your team. So wherever you get your apps, you'll find it there, talkSPORT. Go and check it out. We'll look forward to bringing you all the games and all the reaction. Should be lively sports bars throughout the week this week. Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent are over in New York. They're joining us from iconic spots. They're going to be there for the World Cup draw. They're heading to Washington, I believe, tomorrow. But we'll catch up with them a little bit later on. It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT with our very good friends at Tool Station. Get winter ready with heating and insulation essentials. Next stop, Tool Station.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We've been taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Time to talk a bit of boxing, some interesting stories, quite a few of them emerging today. So the former British Superweight champion Paul Smith has joined us in the studio. Hey Paul, how are you?
I'm good, thanks for having me.
So Eubank Ben, we've been talking about a lot in recent weeks. Both guys have been posting content. Certainly Connors is a bit more upbeat than Chris is. He's just put out an Instagram post of him in hospital and he says, I've been dealing with a lot of health issues over the last year and it finally caught up with me last month. I will not box again until I'm 100%. I don't know when that will be. But one thing's for certain, for the fans that have supported me through thick and thin, I'll do everything in my power to make sure that one day the old me makes a big comeback. Yeah, that's a bit of a shocker there. I mean, it was interesting. He was hinting at issues he'd had and he was shutting Ben Shalom down when he was, saying if only you knew what this guy had gone through. So clearly there was something going on, but he didn't want to use it as an excuse, did he?
Yeah, and he's not the first fighter to do that. And ironically, it was my brother Liam that fought Chris in the rematch. And Liam wasn't 100%, and Liam had to do unspeakable things to be able to just get in the ring.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the game is sometimes you just have to fight, and that's how it is. And I feel for Chris because obviously he obviously didn't look himself. I think a lot of that on the night was down to age as well. But if you're not 100%, and there's a bit of signs of aging, then it's definitely not going to go your way, which it didn't go his way.
And probably a bit like Liam, what can you do? You're in this situation, there's this sort of roller coaster that you can't get off. It's very difficult to say, no, I'm not right, the fight's off. Absolutely. Because it's you're in a massive football stadium, TV rights, everything. There's a lot of pressure on you, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. And to be fair to Chris, I've always said this about him. He's a tough fella. He'll take his licks like a man. He'll stay in there. He'll really, grind it out and do what he has to do. And that's the thing with boxing. And I'm not criticising football or any team game by any stretch of the imagination, but you can be substituted in them. In boxing, if it's not going your way, you've got to stay in, and you've got to just take it in. You've got to, unfortunately, there's no way out. There's no easy way out. There's no sort of, right, I'm done now. You can't really quit. You've got to really just take it. And he always does, and he has done, to be fair to him, because Eubank is a tough man.
He talks about coming back. And he talks about coming back, but as you said, you felt age played a part in that fight. I mean, we don't know how bad he is, and it could take him a while till he I mean, you think that could be the last we see of him, potentially, as a fighter?
I thought on the night it would be the last we'd see of him, and I do still think that I hope to God he's okay in this, and that there's nothing long term, because as I said, I know him, I've met him a few times, I've sparred with him, and there's certainly a lot of respect there for them, and you don't want to see anyone in boxing, whether you like them or not, being hurt or injured.
Absolutely.
And if this is a health thing, I hope he gets his health better.
Yeah, it's worrying because people were concerned about after the first fight and then again after the second fight. So we do wish him well.
We don't know, what that took out of his body, certainly, but we do wish him well if he's listening today. Now, Conor Benn had a much more upbeat message when he took to social media earlier on. We're going to play it to you now. This is what he had to say.
Just got the news I've been made #1 in the WBC rankings, mandatory for the WBC World Title. I'll be watching Barrios versus Garcia closely. I want the winner early next year. Q1, God willing, that WBC World Title is mine. I'll be coming for that belt, and Britain will have a new world champion. Let's have it. Come on.
He put that out via DAZN a little bit earlier on today. Barrios, Mario Barrios versus Ryan Garcia. Can he beat either of those guys, do you think, Paul?
Barrios possibly, but it's not a given by any stretch of the imagination. Garcia probably not, but I don't know how Garcia's getting this shot, to be honest with you. That's another story, obviously, but he's the convention is happening at the moment in Thailand, the WBC convention, and they've put Conor Benn in at the #1 position.
Are you surprised?
A little bit, because the win over Chris Eubank doesn't necessarily entitle you to be the #1 contender. But listen, he's and again, without sounding too technical or too sort of negative towards it, the fight that he had with Chris Eubank, or the fights that he had with Chris Eubank, weren't at the weight that he's been entered in the #1 rankings at. So he's been there, put it in there for a reason. They want to make that fight. The fight makes sense, obviously, to everyone business wise, and that's the type of fight that they want to be making for Conor Benn in the #1 position to get him into a world title.
It's at welterweight, as you said. And he's not fought welterweight for a while, has he?
Probably a couple of years at least. Definitely not his last 4 fights. He's had 2 fights before the Eubank fight. They were at light middleweight, I believe, 154-ish, and then the last 2 have been at the 160 limit, 160 pounds.
That was the thing, wasn't it? Because those fights didn't really tell us anything about their kind of the world class nature, because it was such a domestic dust up with all the stuff that went with it. It was very hard to tell whether either of them had a life beyond that.
Yeah, listen, it's difficult to say without sounding like I'm being negative. I'm not, but the 2 fighters in there are not. It wasn't a world class fight. They were evenly matched, but Chris Eubank a couple of years back was probably a lot better than what he was now. And that happens to us all at age. And Conor Benn has only beaten what's been put in front of him, as did Chris Eubank. And that's boxing. That's how it is. The thing with boxing is you can have the best camp, you can have the best build-up, you can have the best 4 fights leading up to your biggest night of your life. You can have a stinker on the biggest night of your life, and that's it. It's done.
Yeah, sure.
It's how you are on the night as well. And on the night, Conor Benn beat exactly what was in front of him. And he's moving on to bigger and better things now. Whether he can do that at welterweight is going to be interesting to see, because we see it a lot with fighters who move up through the weights and then they try and come back down, and it's just not there. They've outgrown it. He looked big in his last fight, Conor Benn. He looked like he was suited to the person that was in front of him, shall we say, and not the weight limit. He looks a big lad. I think he may and probably will struggle to get back down to welterweight, 147 pounds. It's a big jump.
Now, the other story today involves Alexander Usyk. We didn't quite know what his plans were going forward. But he said he would like to fight Deontay Wilder, which seemed to sort of come out of nowhere. I mean, apart from money, which may be at the centre of it, we were discussing this earlier. Why does he want to fight him? Well, he's beaten all the other big guys of this era, but he hasn't fought Wilder. Is it as simple as that? What's the thinking, you think, Paul?
So we spoke about this before on Talk Boxing, me and Simon Jordan. We were talking, saying that this isn't in Usyk's nature, so to speak. It's not how he behaves, picking fighters that he's better than. He's just said no to fighting Fabio Wardley and vacated the belt to allow Fabio Wardley to be world champion, because, with all due respect to Fabio, who's done great, he thinks he's beneath Usyk, and he is. So to fight Wilder when we know Wilder's done and he's finished and I think he's shot is, again, to me, testament of it's not like Usyk's normal behaviour, but he's earned the right to have an easy payday. And Wilder, whether we like it or not, is one of the last huge names who has been a champion, who had that trilogy with Tyson Fury. He's a legitimate old school world champion, and one of the heavyweight names that Usyk thinks he might just be able to beat easily, to then get out and go out on his shield and off into the sunset, which he deserves, Usyk.
I've heard a few people suggesting it's kind of in the AJ Paul area, and I think that's a bit much for a bloke. I mean, Wilder did put Tyson down, didn't he? But look, he was diminishing returns in those fights.
Good fights as well, didn't he? And he's been a bona fide genuine world champion.
Has his punch gone? Because he always had that.
No, I think that's the last thing to go.
Right.
I think with a fight.
So he's still got a punch. I mean, everybody thought they've had a puncher's chance against Usyk and they've not beaten him, though.
Yeah, but Usyk's one of them fighters you could throw a bag of rice at him and not probably hit him. That's how good he is technically. But when you've got that equaliser, which Wilder hasn't, will always have, it's still interesting. But for me, he looks an older version of his good self back in the day. Don't forget, Wilder at the time, even when he was in his peak, technically he wasn't good.
No.
He just had that has still got that stupid power, explosiveness power, where he could knock anyone out. And when you're in with someone like him, it's always going to be dangerous. So.
Where does Atoma fit in with all these?
For me, patiently waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
Look, we had this debate before, and I always say this: if Atoma's ready to fight Usyk next, I still think Usyk beats him and beats him well, because he's not quite ready just yet, but he will be. He absolutely will be. And boxing is all about timing, passing of the torch, changing of the guard, whatever way you want to put it. If this is in another year's time, let's say, that's a close fight with him and Usyk, because I think Usyk will be on a little bit of the decline, but I think he'll be gone by then. But Atoma, make no mistake about it, in my opinion, and many others in boxing, Atoma's the future of heavyweight boxing in the world, not just this country.
But I mean, we spoke to Johnny Fisher, and he fights in Monaco later this week, and he was very honest. He said, look, it made me realise the Dave Allen fight, I've still got a lot to learn, and as you think you've got the big punch, and everybody's talking about you, and everybody's hyping you up, but you can't, fly too close to the sun too soon, can you? You've got to sort of pay your dues and learn your craft, haven't you?
You have, and that's probably what a lot of people. It's not like Johnny Fisher. I like his attitude, and like Atoma at the moment has probably surpassed anything Fisher will do in boxing because of just how good he is. But this Atoma was a whirlwind at 15 years of age. He was knocking men out and winning gold medals in the amateurs all over the world. So he's an exceptional talent, and if he can gain a bit of the persona and a bit of the personality of Johnny Fisher, he's going to be great. Atoma, that's the worry with Atoma at the minute, is they want to try and get the publicity side, the persona, the attitude.
There's a bit of the Tysons about him. He's gone. It's like he's come to fix your boiler. When he comes into the ring, he's not showbiz. He just goes to work, doesn't he?
And he definitely goes to work as well. And he's exceptional, and he will be. But with the likes of Johnny Fisher and everyone else in these fights, that's probably been the issue with Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul at the moment. Jake Paul hasn't paid his dues, is what people are saying, and he hasn't put the work in. I get that totally, but if I start a radio station up and eventually it challenges this, then you'll all shake my hands and pat me on the back and say, well done, you're
not going to, are you?
No, definitely
you and
not.
Your brothers.
But you've
got any jobs?
He's exploited another industry. He's coming over to boxing. He's making millions, but more importantly, he's helping a lot of female fighters out as well. He's got his own promotional stable. So I have no issue with it. It is what it is. It's not technically classed as an exhibition, but it is what it is.
Nice one, Paul. Well, we look forward to it. You said you're going to be
a breakfast show between the three of us.
Yeah, that's right. We'll just sit there and that'll be a laugh.
I can be the in the middle.
The studio's up in Liverpool. That'll be fun. Talk boxing with Simon Jordan, Spencer Oliver, Paul Smith, and Adam Cattrall is out tonight from 8 p.m. on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. Still to come this afternoon. We're going to speak to the manager of Auchinleck Talbot. They play Celtic in the fourth round of the Scottish Cup. Hopefully at their place in front of their 4,000 fans. The manager, Tommy Sloan's going to join us. And Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent live from New York coming up next.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Score a winning hat-trick of performance, payload and price. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
With the headlines at 3:04, I'm Tom Clayton. Good afternoon. A major report into the Hillsborough disaster has found 12 police officers would have faced gross misconduct proceedings. The Independent Office for Police Conduct says the proceedings would have been over fundamental failures on the day and concerted efforts to blame fans in the aftermath. The reports upheld or found cases to answer for misconduct in 92 complaints, but no officers will face disciplinary proceedings because they had retired by the time the investigations began. Sue Roberts, whose brother Graham was killed at Hillsborough, says this has been a long time coming.
We were treated so appallingly, and so many family members, my dad and mum, died prematurely. They were tormented by the way that they were treated. We knew that there was a big cover-up going on, but there didn't seem to be anything that we could do about it.
Robin Smith has been described as a fearless player and a popular teammate who'd do anything for you. Those are the words of Michael Atherton after the former England and Hampshire batter passed away aged 62. Our own Double Ashes winner Steve Harmison has paid this tribute.
He was an amazing player. I think anybody aged between sort of mid-40s to sort of mid-50s will recognise an absolute legend has lost, has gone from the game.
On the Ashes, Will Jacks has been called up to the team for the second test. He'll come in place of Shoaib Bashir. And Phil Foden will play a major role if Man City are to reel in Arsenal and win another title. That's according to club legend Paul Dickov.
For years with Kevin De Bruyne, when Man City were struggling at times to pull something out of the bag, Mo Salah's done it for Liverpool for years now. And having that little bit of gold dust and Phil Foden did get them over the line.
City are away at Fulham this evening live on talkSPORT. So you remember all 10 midweek games in the Premier League are live across the talkSPORT network and the app.
talkSPORT News.
And inquiries found sex crimes against women aren't treated as high priority and violence prevention schemes are often just words. And juries will be scrapped in England and Wales for defendants facing a sentence of 3 years or less. More from the news team at 5:30.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Get 10% off 2 or more premium tyres in our Black Friday event. Don't miss out and book today at quickfit.com and drive away happy every time. Conditions apply.
Sunny spells today, but showers developing in the south and west later on. They could bring hail and thunder. Generally breezy, but feeling colder than yesterday.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. We're just struggling to get through to Andy and Benty at the moment over in New York, but we'll keep working on that. I'm sure we can. Tommy Sloane's going to join us. Achim Lech Talbot, manager of the Ash.
You almost did it there, a bit Scottish. It's hard not to.
Achim Lech, yeah, I think I've got that right. So anyway, they play Celtic in the Scottish Cup 4th round, the Ayrshire club. We're going to have a chat with Tommy Sloane. They're manager of 22 years. He's been there, Andy.
It's great, isn't it?
And Paddy Power's going to join us for a chat, and we'll hear from some of the gaffers ahead of the week's big games. You've just been watching this. I said it's a bit of an iconic fixture, Leeds versus Chelsea. And a lot of it goes back to the 1970 FA Cup final that went to replayed at Chelsea won. The first game, especially, was just... it was like a Sam Peckinpah film.
Was it the first... I went to the first game at Wembley. In my mind,
Was it the replay was the worst, was it?
The replay was the one that's
maybe
so
it's
horrendous.
I was very young.
Yeah.
There was a level of violence involved that I think a little while ago, one of the it might be Mark Clattenburg, but someone was asked to re-referee the game. And I think there was about 8 red cards. The tackles.
I don't know how they didn't get career ending. They look every tackle looks career ending. Makes Caicedo's tackle on Sunday. It's a mild intervention.
There's one tackle either by Peter Osgood or on Peter Osgood because, and it's just, the level of violence right through the back. There's a Ron Harris tackle as well, which was quite spectacular. If you're wondering, I was saying to Andy just now off air that if you wonder what Ron Harris spoke like as a player when he was interviewed, and probably still, he sounds a bit like when Paul Whitehouse does the impression of Ted on Gone Fishing. If you can imagine Ted, the little dog, saying, well, in my day, you would have got 5 years for a tackle like that.
Roasted.
Just a little bit about, yeah. So that's sorry, Ron, if you're listening, he'll come looking for me now.
What a player he was.
Two-footed.
What a man. He won tremendously well.
Yeah.
For years and years, he looked exactly the same as he did when he played. I haven't seen him for a bit, but, he was tremendous.
He still turns up with the club, does he?
Yeah, I think he's always welcome.
Anyway, believe it or not, it's the 2027 World Cup draw tomorrow. They like to go early. We were a bit blindsided by that news, not being the biggest of rugby fans. But thankfully, Andrew McKenna's on hand to explain how it's all going to work. Back up.
The next World Cup will be bigger than ever before, as we've got 24 teams taking part, up from 20 in France 2 years ago. That'll mean a change in format. There'll be 6 pools, with each having 4 teams in it. The top 2 from each pool go through to a newly created round of 16. To make up the numbers, the 4 best third-place sides will go through as well. So if any of the big sides don't get through, they've really stuffed up. The teams have been put into seeding bands with 6 teams in each. The highest seeds are in Band 1, the lowest in Band 4. The only side who've been pre-allocated are the hosts Australia. They're in Pool A. Everyone else will be drawn at random. Because of their world ranking, Australia are actually in the second band of seeds, along with Scotland and Wales, so they could have a big impact. Georgia are one to try and avoid in Band 3, while Samoa look badly out of position in Band 4. With England and Ireland both in Band 1, their best case scenario is getting Japan, USA and Zimbabwe. Scotland and Wales are both in Band 2, so they know they're going to get one of the other home nations, or South Africa, New Zealand, France or Argentina. Their qualification, though, will depend on beating
this Friday in Washington, that's right, yeah. Mine went blank then. Anyway, let's head to New York now, where Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent are going to be heading to Bring You Drive from Washington later this week, but they are currently in New York in another iconic setting. Good afternoon, Andy.
Oh, you can hear, yeah?
Oh, we can hear you.
We can hear you,
Hello,
Andy.
good afternoon. How
You're
are
in
you,
Grand
Paul?
Central Station.
Look at that.
Good. We've got a bit of a delay on the line, so I'll just talk you through what's happening. Firstly, I don't know if we're going to get in trouble, but we have apparently cleared it. Management Max and producer Joe are getting in a little bit of trouble, so we might have to cut this short. But I hope you can still hear me. We are in Grand Central at the moment. We had our first show yesterday. We had Nigel Rio-Coker with us and Bradley White-Phillips. We've got Nigel again today. And we've also got Brad Friedel with us. He came out last night for a bit of dinner. And he's coming with us this afternoon for today's show. I don't even know if you can hear me because I can't hear you. So I'm just going to carry on rambling. So as you can see, we're in Grand Central. And in fact, Joe, can you just unplug that and plug it in while I'm talking, just in case we can get that back? I'll just carry on telling you what I'm up to. So I'm in Grand Central Station at the moment. This morning, me and Bentley did a bit of shopping. And we don't really have too much time in the morning because I don't know if it's working, but I'm just going to carry on chatting. Because when we get up, we go down to the hotel lobby, have a coffee, but all of us are... Oh, there we go, I've got you now. All of us are pretty jet-lagged at the moment, so I woke up about 5 o'clock this morning. Benny was up at the same time. I only know that because he sort of nudged me in bed. Management Max was up similar times, so we're all a little bit tired, but I'm not moaning, I'm not complaining. We've got another really big day ahead of us. And after we finish today's show, we're going to the sandwich bar or restaurant, whatever it is, where Harry Met Sally was, that famous scene in Harry Met Sally was filmed. So
Deli.
we're going there after the show. That's the one. And then tonight, we've been invited to see James Corden's play on Broadway. James, I'll just pick that name up, texted me yesterday saying, I hear you're in New York, do you want to come see the play? And we were like, yeah. So we're going to see that tonight. So things are good at the moment, boys.
Excellent. Well fantastic. Well, we look forward to it, Andy. We'll catch up with you later.
Thank you, boys. Sorry about the line, nothing to do with me, but good to speak to you, good to hear you. Have a good day.
Cheers, Andy. So it's Andy Goldstein, Darren Bent up at 4 this afternoon, live from New York. As we said, they'll head to Washington for Thursday and Friday ahead of that World Cup draw. And, should be interesting. The draw itself, let's give you a little bit more information on that. Adrian Durham, Stuart Pearce, Danny Murphy, Charlie Mulgrew, we're going to be reacting as England, Scotland, the rest of the world learn their fate. And, of course, we still have high hopes for other home nations as well via the playoffs. And then you can stick with us for the World Cup after party. Andy Goldstein, Darren Bent are going to bring you more reaction live from Washington, D.C. So that's all happening from 4 o'clock this Friday on talkSPORT for the World Cup draw. And the boys are going to be bringing you lots of colour from the States ahead of the draw. Grand Central at one point, I think it went out of business, but Michael Jordan had a steakhouse in there. And me and the missus went, and we ate in there. Man, it wasn't cheap.
Restaurants in New York are very expensive. It is. New York's an incredibly expensive place. It's very interesting. There, Macca talking about the World Cup, and he goes, and there's going to be more teams. And then you think the FIFA World Cup, there's going to be more teams. And then we read this morning, Celebrity Traders, which was probably the most successful TV show. There's going to be more of them. I love it. Somebody go, this was good. Why don't we have less?
Yeah.
It never happens, does it? Let's have less. Because that might improve the quality. No, let's have more and dilute it and make more money.
I mean, you're shouting at clouds, mate.
I know. Well, I spent my whole life doing that.
That's not the way the world works, is it, really? Quite know where you get it from.
What's the point? I agree.
What's the point, indeed?
Yes, and talking of...
Oh, sorry, we talked early on about Mastermind, didn't we, Andy?
Oh, yeah.
You said you were watching Mastermind yesterday and the explanations. We said that the questions in Bullseye, and Freddie Flintoff's newly rebooted Bullseye, they are quite easy, the questions.
They're easier, say, than Mastermind.
Andy in the Black Country said there was a quiz night in my local a few years ago. The question setter asked the question, what word is spelled incorrectly in the dictionary? One team couldn't get their head around it at all. And the guy, they couldn't get the answer. The answer, of course, is incorrectly.
Of course.
And they said it proper kicked off.
Oh, right.
They were not happy.
It's a good question.
The quizzes with a trick question. I've never heard that one before.
That is very good. I've never heard that one before.
You're using that, aren't you, Andy?
But it's incredible things people will write to the newspaper about. I know I'm one for being bothered about things that don't matter.
Exactly.
But Gordon in Sunderland...
Not Gordon in Sunderland.
Gordon Sunderland. I don't know. That might be his name. He's he just says Gordon Sunderland, no commas.
Okay.
He's very, very angry about this.
Yeah.
Who decided to replace Ian Botham with blah blah Balding in the advert? For Revitative.
Oh yeah.
How could you get annoyed about that?
Yeah. I mean, it's an advert, isn't it, for something that sort of gets your circulation moving on your feet.
To be fair, I'd say Beefy was probably, he's more the market.
More the target audience.
At this point. But even so, there you go. I wouldn't get that upset about it.
We're also told by Anthony in Nottingham in 2004, Sean Wallace, not Sean Wallace, hey, for me.
Yes, thanks.
Here comes Steve McLaren. Sean Wallace. Of course, the chaser on the chase these days.
Oh, yes.
Did FA Cup final since 1970 as his specialist subject. He said, it's on YouTube. You go and check it out. I've never watched it. He said, see how many you can get right. But I tried to get Sean into the Bobby Moore Fun quiz one year, and he couldn't do it. But I was so desperate to get him in.
Would have been good,
just sat back and had a drink and let him get on with it. Would have been fantastic. We would have walked it.
Yeah. Paul Sinner would be good because his sports knowledge is great as well as his general knowledge.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I was reading the court circular.
Yes.
And
we're gonna have to go soon.
Oh, all right. Well, we've got another section.
We'll do it later because Tommy Sloan awaits.
Of course.
Auchinleck Talbot manager. They play Celtic in the fourth round of the Scottish Cup. It is quite the draw. They want to play at their place. Hopefully they will. We'll get an update from Tommy on that in a few moments' time. We're here with Tool Station. Pick your wet weather essentials up today. Next stop, Tool Station.
welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Step up to the Oki and win on talkSPORT.
Now we're just over a week away from the Quick Fit talkSPORT Darts Presenter Trophy, and this is your chance to be there. You and a mate could be the only members of the public allowed in next Wednesday, the 10th of December in London, as 8 of talkSPORT's biggest names take to the Oki. You could be right there with us and rub shoulders with your favourite talkSPORT presenters. See what they're like in public. It's honestly quite shocking. The very next day, you'll be heading at the opening day at the PDC World Darts Championship. Have 2 nights and a hotel covered, £2,500 in cash, Andy.
What a lovely prize. And for your chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Text costs £2 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 423 9761. Lines close 4 p.m. this Thursday. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. So for your chance to text to win, text WIN to too many wins to 8338 now. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksport.com.
It was very much a win-win.
It was really.
So, one of the magics of our great cup competitions are matchups like this. Auchinleck Talbot to take on the mighty Celtic, 6th tier Ayrshire club, taking on giants of Scottish football.
As we said, after a fantastic result away at Dumbarton.
That's right. Tommy Sloan, the manager of Auchinleck, joins us now. Hi, Tommy.
How you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. Everybody at the club must be very excited.
Oh, without a doubt, a huge draw for us. It was a bit of a shock when it did happen, I must admit. Watching it live, the last thing you think is going to come out the hat is that. And there you go. Something to look forward to.
Brilliant. Where were you when you found out? Were you watching it?
Were you all at the club? Did you all get together at the club?
No, we weren't there. I was at home with my wife and my daughter, actually, just watching it. It was still a wee bit of a shock. When we got a home draw, I was delighted. Then Celtic come out.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a shock for me.
Now, you're going to play at your place, aren't you? Because what often happens, because you're 4,000 at your place, but I understand that you had a decent cup run a couple of years back, played Hearts, and you invested quite a lot into your playing surface, so Celtic won't have any problems there. It's a good pitch.
It's a very good pitch. 4,000 is the maximum. There's actually a meeting with, well, we're at home, obviously, we're the home side, but the police and the local council are having a meeting with the club tomorrow before they definitely say where the venue is. So at the moment, it's our home pitch, but whether the police have something to say about that, we're a bit in the dark about that.
What, I mean, have you thought about the allocation that Celtic might get if it is played at your place?
Oh, personally, I don't take much to do with that side of it. It's the football I'm interested in.
Yeah.
And for the allocation, look, we could, I dare say they might get
it might be split or something. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
They'll get a few hundred. I mean, it'd be a shame if it can't be played at your place. I understand there's sort of safety issues and etc. But it will be a great shame because you've invested in the ground, you've invested in the pitch.
That would make a fortune if it was at Celtic. You wouldn't want to do that, but you can understand.
I mean, off the back of what happened with Hearts, and you made a few quid, and you're able to invest it in the club. In some ways, if you could go elsewhere and get 15,000, 16,000 or whatever, would you like that? Would you like to play at your place?
My personal opinion, play at our place. I'm only worried about what we do on the pitch. Being honest with you, ours is a tighter pitch. Look, we're actually a young side and a bigger pitch maybe suit us, but Celtic's, as you've just said, 5 tiers above us. They're kind of the best side in Scotland. So, on a narrow pitch or a tighter pitch would probably benefit us better. And that's the only side that I'm looking at, rather than the financial gain, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
Yours is a club with great history too. I'm just saying here, founded in 1909. It's one of the oldest clubs in the whole country.
That's right. Look, we've got a lot of success at our level. In the past 10, 15 years, this entry to the Scottish Cup, the Senior Cup's been it's great to be involved in it, and we've had some smashing ties in the past.
Yeah.
But this is the biggest one. There's no doubt this is the biggest one we've had. So really looking forward to it. And look, I think it's great for the players, especially. The players involved in that, playing Celtic. I think if you ask them, they would probably rather play at Celtic's Park. But them coming to us, for me, that it's a wee bit more. It makes it slightly easier for us to give us the best possible chance of doing well.
You've been there 22 years, Tommy. Will this be the highlight, you think, playing against Glasgow Celtic?
Certainly the biggest match. Certainly the biggest match I've been involved in. Our biggest cup is the Junior Cup, obviously the Scottish Junior Cup, which we've won on numerous occasions. Touch wood, that continues. But that's the magnitude of this game is certainly everybody's talking about it, and that's certainly no surprise.
I understand. Indeed, all the hospitality tickets are gone already. They've been snapped up, haven't they, for the game?
Within minutes, seemingly, they were all taken. And look, that's another thing. That's our home package hospitality. If it goes to another venue, that might be a different scenario. There might be more involved there.
Yeah. And league-wise, you're doing all right. I was just looking at the league table. You're right up there this season, aren't you?
Look, we've been doing really well. We've lost once in a cup tie to one of our local sides just 2 or 3 weeks ago there. But we've been doing really well and playing quite well, and it's quite a young side, being honest with you. Look, touch wood, that continues. And the biggest thing here for us, for me personally, is the distraction of the Celtic game. Let's just hope the players they've got to concentrate in the next game rather than this game.
Yeah, and old Wilfred Nancy looks like he's coming in to take over from Martin.
He won't know what's hit him.
You're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. He's going to be a bit of a shock to the system, but what a fantastic day.
It's a wonderful story.
It is a great day for the club.
Great.
Tommy, good to talk to you. All the best. We wish you well.
Lads, thanks a lot. That's great. Thank you.
Tommy Sloan there, Auchinleck Talbot manager. They're going to be taking on Celtic in the 4th round of the Scottish. That is quite a baptism of fire, isn't it? Because he'd probably be in by then, I would think, to go down there or up there and play.
Yeah, well, you never know on the day.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah. And I was just looking at their league table, Andy, the Auchinleck's league table. They're second to Troon at the moment. But I see
their main rivals are Cumnock Juniors, apparently.
Well, they are third. They're in. But the interesting one is Bon Accord, who are in 11th.
Oh yeah, have they got over that 36-0?
Well, I was going to say. Bon Accord apparently have played 10 games so far, so I was expecting their goal difference to be minus 360. But it isn't, apparently. They don't do that. They don't do that every week. Sorry, Bon Accord.
Yeah, well, it's it makes them famous. It's their claim to fame, isn't it?
Yeah, really? Not one you'd necessarily want, but I know what you mean. Anyway, that is quite the story, and I'm sure we'll be talking about it before the match is played. Paddy Power's going to do. Maybe he should sponsor him. I hope he's listening. Should get right behind the lads.
He might actually.
Yeah,
it's a good idea.
get onto his head of mischief, see what he can come up with. But anyway, Paddy's going to join us next. He's going to tell us about the Darts of Destiny. And what that involves, of course, once again, they're sponsoring the PDC World Darts Championship.
Arbroath won 2-0 in the Cup, so I'd mention that.
Well done.
A bit of a mellow there. I looked it up.
I see.
Yes, I'm very familiar with lower level Scottish football.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. So, Paddy up next. And we'll hear from some of the gaffers before we hand over to Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent, live from New York at 4 this afternoon.
Some sad breaking news this morning. Former England and Hampshire batter Robin Smith has died at the age of 62. He averaged 44 in Test cricket. His top ODI score was 167, and that was an England record for 23 years. Michael Atherton's described Smith as a fearless player and a popular teammate who'd do anything for you. Now to the Ashes, where Ben Stokes and England must be concerned about their batting lineup.
I thought they'd have brought another seamer in, because that's the way that you'd expect a pink ball to behave, a day-night game. Will Jacks is, I'd call him a bits and pieces off-spinner. What they've done is lengthened the batting.
That from Bumble on all-rounder Will Jacks' inclusion for the second Ashes Test. Specialist spinner Shoaib Bashir misses out. There's a full preview of the Gabba Test on talkSPORT's Following On podcast. Now, ahead of Tottenham's trip to Newcastle, live on talkSPORT tonight, Harry Redknapp's urging Spurs not to get trigger happy over this poor run of form under Thomas Frank.
They've gone for Mourinho, Conte. They've had everybody there, haven't they? And
yeah.
It's they can't keep firing people. They have to be patient and let them get on with the job, and let's see where we go at the end of the season.
Meanwhile, Arne Slot condemned abuse on social media amid Liverpool's difficult run. They won at West Ham on Sunday against 10 men.
What I notice, what I feel, is the support the fans give me in the stadium, because even at 0-0, the fans were singing for the team, but also for me. So that's the support I feel.
Liverpool are at home to Sunderland, live on talkSPORT 2 tomorrow night. And Mikel Arteta is asking Arsenal fans to turn up like animals at the Emirates tomorrow and help the team beat Brentford. That one's a talkSPORT Live exclusive tomorrow night from 7 p.m.
Power on talkSPORT. Check out Paddy's latest offers on the Paddy Power app or at paddypower.com. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Yes, darts just around the corner. It's time to catch up with Paddy Power on the Darts of Destiny, which could see you on stage at the World Darts Championship final, Ali Pally, on January the 3rd, 2026, where you could walk away with a cool £180,000. Yeah, joining us now to tell us more about Darts of Destiny, the man himself. Good afternoon, Paddy.
Good afternoon, Paul. Good afternoon, Andy. I think we should have called it the Darts of Destiny.
Yeah, we need
Darts of Destiny. You know, I think it needs a little bit of Indiana Jones or something.
In a world. Yeah, we probably need a bit of that, don't we? That's true.
So, yeah, that's good to talk to you. Yeah, so it's so just, well, you said it there, but so that one lucky winner and three mates get brought along to the final, VIP treatment, the whole shebang, and then get put up on stage before the final kicks off. And you have 9 darts to shoot 180 or more, and you win 180 grand. So, yeah, that's handy enough. What could possibly go wrong? But we're doing it in conjunction with Prostate Cancer UK, and that's got our charity partner. Like the whole time we sponsored the World Darts Championship. So, we're giving away actually 10,000 dartboards through our shops. Starting today. So all you have to do, you can enter the Darts of Destiny thing for free, obviously through the dartsofdestiny.com, whatever. But if you donate to Prostate Cancer UK, you can show proof of your donation at Paddy Power shop and pick up a free dartboard while that stock of 10,000 lasts. And the serious bit now, the reason why it's 10,000 dartboards is because apparently 10,000 men a year find out that they've prostate cancer when it's already too late. So it's just raising awareness. Get yourself checked. There's all these online checkers. I was rabbling on about it all last year, but yeah, quite a serious, but also a great bit of fun.
Yeah, it's well done to you guys because you've raised a lot of money for prostate cancer over the last couple of tournaments since you've been involved in the sponsorship, and you're in the room. You know, when another amount of money is won for prostate cancer, you get a big cheer from the floor, which is lovely.
Yeah, it is. It's nice. It's a nice thing to have from the beginning, and we brought the crowd into it last year. When there was a 9 darter, we had a randomer from the crowd, just with that camera that goes around and stops on somebody, like the kiss cam type of thing, and they won big, and that happened. I think there's more 9 darters than we were bargaining for last year. but yeah, so it's good to get a bit of crowd involved, and that's what we're trying to do with this one as well, to get everybody a chance. And it only launched today, and they're already smashed through 20 grand in donations so far. So and that's not from us. That's from punters going in, getting their dartboards and giving a few quid to prostate cancer. So it's brilliant.
It is.
I'm looking at the odds, Andy. Luke Little is just a shade of odds on, isn't he? I mean, considering the field, look, he's playing very, very well, but he has some big hitters out there. I see Luke Humphries 4-1, Gerwin Price 14s. There's some good players. If you a bit of value, sort of players like Stephen Bunting at 40-1. But yeah, Little being odds on. 2 years ago, Paddy, when we saw him, we'd not even heard of him really, had we?
It was funny, yeah. Was he 16? 15 or 16? Yeah, a couple of years ago. And he had just qualified through, I don't know what it's called, the junior.
It was the junior one. They just won it.
Junior one, yeah. And it was a bit of a gimmick at the launch. I remember it was a bit of a talk about this kid Luke Littler, but no one really had any, nobody could seriously say they thought he had a chance of going to it. Now he got beaten in the final by Luke Humphries, but he really took the place by storm. And actually after that one, it just felt like that was one that kind of, relaunch the World Darts Championship a little. Not that it needed it. It was still a big thing, but just I know it just resonated with younger people. And the dartboard sold out across the country and everything like that after. So Luke Littler's been a real fillip for the sport, and the battle of the two Lukes is great. And the odds, like you said, it does suggest that the two of them will meet up in the final, and they might be a step ahead of everybody else. But especially early. It's dangerous early when the matches are shorter. You know.
I'm looking at the odds as well. It's interesting.
Gerwyn Price is always somebody you.
Yeah, we're going to have a chat with. So he's 14s, but Jan Van Veen, he was the kind of Dutch Luke Littler. The two of them have sort of duked it out, and he beat him in those worlds, I think. But I see he's 12-1. Quite a lot of the punters.
Interesting one.
Quite a lot of the punters going for him. Maybe he could be the new Luke Littler.
Yeah, he could be, and it'd be a bit strange if Luke Littler's over the hill now. What is he, 19? 18?
He's gone. Yeah, he's too old.
Finished.
He's too old.
It's good.
Fantastic. Well, look, Paddy, good to talk to you. No doubt we'll see you when you're over, and if not, we'll see you at Cheltenham, I'm sure.
We will. We'll see you before Cheltenham, guarantee. We'll be over the darts. We'll see you there.
Brilliant. All the best. Cheers, Paddy. Thank you very much. There's Paddy Power there. Thanks to Paddy for joining us. If you've not donated, now's the time. Donate to Prostate Cancer UK and the dartsofdestiny.com. That's where you can do your donations. And head to your local Paddy Power store, as Paddy said, to collect a free dartboard while stocks last.
Paddy Power on talkSPORT. Check out Paddy's latest offers on the Paddy Power app or at paddypower.com. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Yeah, before that, of course, we've got the talkSPORT darts next Wednesday. Myself and Andy will be
that'll be a lot of fun
hosting once again.
That'll be as competitive as anything at Ali Pally, I promise you. It was last year and it will be this year too.
Dean Saunders defending the title. Natalie Sawyer looking to cause another upset. I mean, all we would say is in the subsequent year, Benty, before the show, Benty and Andy Goldstein are in that room practicing their darts. They've put the hours and they have no excuses. The 10,000 hours that they all talk about, they've got. I mean, they should be really turning pro.
They should.
But anyway, we'll see what the pressure got to Benty. He's a good player. The pressure got to him. You could see last year. Natalie got inside his head. So anyway, Dino will be back to try and defend the title. So we're going to bring you that special show next Wednesday. We're going to hear from the gaffers shortly. Andy, haven't you got a little bit of time if you want to run some of your numbers, nonsense by numbers, or any new stuff you've
I've got a bit of new stuff. I noticed that the Deputy Lieutenant of Greater London, who was present at Heathrow Airport to meet the President of the Republic of Maldives, always a good thing to go. I think that's
nice. That's a nice reciprocal. If you meet the President of the Maldives, you're just hoping he says, look, come over to us. I'll put you up. Put you up in a nice hotel.
It's Mr. Simon Ovens, known in the dressing room
as Dutch. Yeah,
exactly.
Of course. Known as Dutch, not the most popular man in the boudoir.
Honestly. And then here, there's a piece about in the Star about Mo Salah.
Yes.
Mo Salah drives his new £400,000 electric Rolls-Royce Spectre in Cheshire.
Yeah.
The millionaire who has a collection of luxury cars will now cop the new 3p a mile charge for it.
He might sell it on that basis. If you've got an electric Rolls-Royce, then you're not really that worried, are you, about the 3p a mile charge?
You're so not worried about it at all.
Yeah.
That's very, very good. You spoke to the Harlem Globetrotters last week.
Last Thursday, yeah.
It was an interesting piece in the Times today. Just this thing that I caught. The Washington Generals, I know you're always fascinated by them.
Well, Charlie said, Charlie told them I was a Washington Generals fan. That's my basketball team.
He would be, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
But they haven't beaten the Harlem Globetrotters since 1971.
No, I think they've had the one win.
They're due a victory.
They were telling us that quite a few people, in case you know how it works with the Harlem Globetrotters, they play around the world and they generally play the Washington Generals.
Yeah.
They travel with them and play, and they beat them more or less every time. They make a contest of it.
Yeah.
But one night they decided to win, which didn't go down too well. Apparently, so that got sorted out. But they were telling us that sometimes Washington Generals become Harlem Globetrotters. I don't know if many people go the other way. I can't really. If you've played for the Harlem Globetrotters and win every night, it would be a lot of fun to be a Washington General.
You've just been transferred to the Washington Generals. That'd be a great move. Bob Dixon wrote to The Sun.
Oh, did he? Who's Bob Dixon?
I think he's a United fan. He says, pundit Jamie Carragher is spot on about Gary Neville destroying Manchester United players. All he does is moan that so-and-so isn't good enough, this manager isn't good enough, the team isn't good enough. He is the problem.
Yeah.
No, he isn't really, is he? Not really. Gary Neville isn't the problem at Manchester United.
I don't think he is. Sad news overnight that Bert Meyer, the man who invented the game Mousetrap, has sadly passed away. And it did strike them that when he's buried, rather than just putting him straight in, they might sort of move him off of a Make it a bit more elaborate for Bert, don't you think?
Yeah.
Just a slightly tilting sort of water and then a net over the... Possibly not. No.
Possibly not.
Too soon?
A
Sorry,
little
Bert.
bit too soon.
I think Bert would have seen the funny side of it.
There was an article about McDonald's, and what was it? Oh, yeah, they've reduced the size of their big tasty burger, according to The Sun.
Okay.
And it says... They always say this. McDonald's fans hit out the channel. Who are these McDonald's fans?
What are the songs they sing?
They sing this one. And it's Filet-O-Fish. Filet-O-Fish FC. Or
Yeah,
that.
well, it's not an FC, is it?
No, it wouldn't be really.
Doesn't really work, does it? So, that'll do. Still to come, we're going to hear from managers ahead of the week's
I
game.
had another song about chicken nuggets. But
Do you want to do it?
No, we're going to do it
No,
now.
don't lose.
No,
Don't let me.
I've lost heart.
No, don't. Don't, Andy, please.
I can't remember what tune I was going to do it to.
No, okay, you've got absolutely no ear for
I
you.
better not say what it is because they're quite litigious.
Yeah, that's it.
I've decided to move
The
on.
thing that finally took Andy Jacobs down was his Filet-O-Fish FC song. They took him for everything
It was
he
my
had.
chicken nugget song, actually.
Yeah, and they may deny they've reduced the size. I mean, who's sitting there measuring them?
Well,
let's be honest.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly.
So, we're going to hear from the gaffers very shortly. Then we'll hand over to Andy Goldstein and Darren Bentwood Drive at 4. Just a reminder, all 10 games played across the Premier League this week will be live on the talkSPORT network. And once again, just a reminder, download the app. It's the easiest way to listen because some games are app exclusive, including tonight's one between Bournemouth and Everton. So go and check that out wherever you get your apps. We're here, of course, with our good friends at Toolstation. Stay one step ahead, whatever the job. Next stop, Toolstation.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We've been taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Just before we hear from the managers, we announced it yesterday. A number of you have been in touch already. Once again, we're going to invite a small gaggle of talkSPORT listeners into the talkSPORT studios on Christmas Eve. So if you can make it into central London on Christmas Eve, we would love to see you. It's pretty solid format. We play some old clips. We have a little glass of port and a few mince pies, a bit of a chat. We find out more about you, get a few of your war stories, and talk about football and what you're up to at Christmas. Yeah, you get the idea.
It's a Christmas Eve show.
It is a Christmas Eve show. So if you would like to join myself and Andy and the team, then simply head over to talksport.com/TSHNJ. That's TSHANDJ. There's a little form for you to fill out. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you'd like to come in. And you can also find a link on X, Twitter if you prefer, at TSHNJ. Again, TSHANDJ. And yeah, we'd love to hear from you. Go and fill in the form, and our team will sift through the people who'd like to come in. And all being well, we'll see you on the day. So let's hear from the gaffers, shall we?
Yeah, definitely.
Let's start with Arne Slot. Maybe a little bit less pressure after that win at West Ham the other day. And he talked about how disappointed Mohamed Salah was at being dropped for the game against the Hammers.
Of course, a player isn't happy he's not playing. He wasn't the only one who wasn't happy that he wasn't starting. I can tell you, and that's normal. But the way he behaved was as you would expect from a professional he is. But he was very supportive for his teammates. Handled himself really well during the day and yesterday in the session as well. So you cannot be a player that's available every 3 days and play on that high standards if you go with your emotions. But for Mo, he's so disciplined, knows what to do to stay fit, and no matter if he plays well, doesn't play well, if he plays or if he doesn't play, he will always be that top professional, and that's what he was in the last 2 days.
There we are. That's Arne Slot.
Yeah, I think it'll be a very interesting game tomorrow. Good test for
at home to Sunderland.
Test for both teams. I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So we turn to West Ham. They play on Thursday evening against Manchester United at Old Trafford. And of course, the big story from a Hammers point of view at the weekend was Lucas Paquetá and that red, the two yellows for constantly going at the referee, kind of giving the referee no choice. And he subsequently came out and made a statement talking about how difficult the recent period has been for him. He's apologised to his teammates, says Nuno Espirito Santo, the West Ham manager, for being sent off on Sunday.
Spoke with Lucas. Lucas spoke not only to me, but to all the teammates. First of all, he apologised. He's aware of his mistake. But we as a club, first and foremost, we protect our own. And that was, we solved the things among ourselves. And it's clear that everybody understood that in life everybody's aware that can happen mistakes inside of the football pitch. Sometimes the emotions, you cannot control it, but at the same time everybody deserves a chance, and this is the case. We move forward. Yeah, it's not okay. It's not okay. He's suffering, he's disappointed, he's sad, but he realized the mistake that he made, and he's willing to move forward. This is what sometimes people are aware of all the problems that football players endure. But Lucas, I think, is going to overcome this situation.
Yeah, a club have said they're going to offer their support. It was a big year for him, World Cup year next year, so you want to be playing well and making sure he
spoke well
for the national team.
That was good.
Anil Kandola, our very own, chatted to Trevor Chalobah, who got an important goal against Arsenal at the weekend, and talked about the importance of winning as many games as they can.
This season, definitely, as you can see in the table, like teams that are 1 point away from being in the top 4 or 2 points away, and this is why consistency is important for us. And every game now for us, it should be a final, because as you said, it's very tight. I think teams are getting stronger, and there's a lot of games, so maybe some teams fatigue playing in the midweek European competitions. So that's why for us having a big squad is important. We're going to need every single person going into these games.
Reece James also chatted No, it's
Maresca.
I do
He was
apologise,
asked because Reece James was so fantastic against Arsenal.
Yeah.
What you'd want to do is play him against Leeds, but they're protecting him, and I think he already said, but the trouble is that Tuchel doesn't care what happens. In a sense, I don't say he doesn't care, but you know what I mean. It's not his problem if he's not fit for Chelsea after an England session.
No.
You know what I mean. So he'll play him 2 games in a week because he likes him. Do you know what I mean? So, but Chelsea are definitely protecting him.
Will Maresca play him in midfield again? He was asked.
He can play in both positions. He has been fullback all his life. He also has played as a midfielder. But I think he can be good in both positions. When we decide for him as a midfielder, most of the time is also when we want a physicality in terms of midfielder, when we face some teams that they are strong in the middle. So it depends a little bit the game plan, but as you said, he's doing very well in both positions.
They go to Leeds tomorrow night. Just a reminder, our games this evening: Fulham, Manchester City on talkSPORT 2. We got Bournemouth, Everton on the talkSPORT app, and we've got Newcastle versus Spurs on talkSPORT. All 10 games this week, live and exclusive on talkSPORT. Enjoy tonight's football. Coming up next, Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent, live from New York.